That makes me more nervous.
We here.
4G podcast.
Where's me?
I found that shirt. Oh, you'll be on real fucking soon. What's going down, everybody? Happy motherfucking Friday. We're going into a long weekend. Happy Canada Day at the end of the weekend, or I'll tell you right now, whatever the fuck you want. Anyways, I'm Stylez the Prophet.
I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
Together with the Basement Weirdos, this is the 4G audio podcast, your grandma's favorite podcast, coming to you live from the basement where all the great rappers pay rent.
Hey.
Motherfuckers. Episode 251, that's crazy. Look at where we're at. Look at where we're at, man.
We're here, man. We doing
Look
it.
at us.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Look at us.
Shit, actually, my dad was wearing the same t-shirt as me today. Good for him. Shout out my pops.
Shout out to Rick.
Also, I would say shout out for this Corona, but it was not him. You keep your warm Corona. All right, any motherfucking way. Tonight we got a special guest, and I want to say it's been a long time coming.
Absolutely.
This is one of two people from a group who I've followed for a minute and really enjoy their music. But let's get on with it. Right now, we got Tragic in the building from Philly Moves.
Make some noise.
What up? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Good, man. I'm pretty stoned, but I'm good. I'm excited to be here. This is dope.
That's
Right
the
on,
4G
man.
effect. Like I said, man, you don't even have to smoke weed here to get stoned, man. Actually, you know what? Okay, I want to say one thing here real quick. I would like...
You say it. What do you got over there?
Since you're sitting on our fucking sofa, I thought I'd offer you an orange soda.
Hey, cool.
I got
Wow.
two different kinds just
There
in
you
case you're
go.
picky about
Man,
it.
This is the kind of shit that makes me feel famous.
Fucking right. Yeah, no, man.
Fucking awesome.
We've definitely. Well, I should say Stylez, anyways.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
put me on to you guys a while back,
Oh, man.
and
Well, I don't know if it was like when the song came out or the video came out, but it was like oh so good.
Oh yeah.
I remember my
Holy
buddy.
shit.
Yeah.
My buddy posted.
That's
It's
a
funny
long
actually.
time ago.
yeah.
Actually, this guy. So I have a new Facebook account since then. But this guy actually just like requested to be my friend like within the last week or so, and I'm like crazy. I'm like he showed me this song. But I remember I was like, oh yeah. But the thing is like, I didn't know that you guys are from around here. I was like, oh yeah, all these guys, oh yeah, whatever. Like, oh, so famous. Oh yeah, you know. And then like. But then, like, at some point, I heard somebody say, like, you might be from around here or something. And then, like, there was a time where I was like, holy shit. I think it was just after Olga came out.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. I'm like, they're like just from over there. I'm like, oh, that's crazy, man. Like, shit. But yeah, no, so I have followed you guys for a minute. And,
That's respect, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
man. And I really like your style. Like, even, like, Bisho pointed out, too, we're listening to it. And, like, he's like, it's just, like, your flow kind of like the way you like the way that you present it is so unique, you know what I mean?
Your rhyme schemes and the way you rhyme, it's definitely unique. I've never heard anybody else rhyme the way you do, for sure, man.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, guys.
Yeah,
It almost
absolutely.
reminds
You're making me blush over here.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of remember there's the one guy from Palmer Squares. He
Yeah.
says like his goal is to try and like rhyme shit that doesn't rhyme and then just like pronounce it a different way so that it does rhyme and shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like it's almost kind of reminds me of that, but not to that extent, right? But okay, so here's the thing is there's a lot to talk about, man.
Mm-hmm.
There is definitely a lot. There's even more than you can imagine. There is. Right? I guess you know what the thing is I've been racking my brain for the longest time. Like, how am I gonna do this? What do I say? Oh, what question? Like, well, which one do I start off with? But I just want to know: have you ever met R.A. the Rugged Man?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. I met R.A. the Rugged Man on the way to Victoria. We were touring. We had a show the same night that he did, unfortunately, and so our show was very sparsely attended, but his was well attended. And we were on the ferry together, and Johnny and I ran into him. He was just chilling, man. He's just like sitting on in a 3-row by himself, nobody talking to him. And I'm like, fuck it, man. And back then, too, that was our first tour. To me, I thought R.A. the Rugged Man was like Biggie Smalls. I thought he was that big, you know what I mean? It was like, so I was like, man, I was so scared to go talk to him. But yeah, I went over, said what up. And then another time I was at a show that, just watching a show, and my buddy was opening for him. And then I ran into him again, and I brought it up. And he was like, bro, of course I don't fucking remember you. What do you think? I was on a ferry. Turns out his long-term girlfriend at the time lived in Victoria, and now that's his wife who he has kids with and shit.
And you met her previously?
No, never met her. No.
Oh no?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Is there something I don't know?
So me and you were in the same place at the same time before.
Really?
So you performed at my homie's thing. It was like a big BMX thing.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of nowhere with
the
the
Brose Farm.
Yeah. With
Bros
the
or whatever.
That's it.
so
Yeah.
we were all chilling in the RV and shit.
Yeah.
And fucking, I pulled up. I saw you guys there, so I pulled up and we were all hanging out all night and shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I remember you told me the story, and I thought you said that you met her and she was going to meet him on the she was on the ferry. She's going to meet him.
Ah.
And then you were like, no, like she's just making shit up or whatever. And then you saw like,
Oh yeah, that is
he
what happened.
picked her up. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
exactly. That is what happened.
Here we go.
Yes,
Here we go.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And me, Johnny and I were like, "Nah, she's bullshitting."
Yeah.
Then he came and picked her up. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, no, you are right.
Shit,
Wow,
'cause,
crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Yeah.
I wanted to. That's why I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this, whatever. But like, because originally, like, we were in contact and shit, right? So I'm like, hey, cool. I almost want to tell him, like, yo, like, we hung up before, right? Like, yo, I think it'd be better just to bring it up on the show, because like, then there's more conversation too, right? There's like something
Yeah.
else, like we haven't had
Yeah,
that
man,
conversation, but
that's so funny. You're
Yeah,
right. That
and-
is how it happened.
and it would have been like 8 years, almost like very close to like now.
Yeah.
'Cause it was at the same time as Rockfest 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a fun night.
Yeah. I remember too, man. Like, after you guys performed, you came through the crowd, and like it looked like you were like looking for someone, and then like I looked away, and then I looked up, and you almost ran into me, and you're like, oh hey, and you're like you, and I'm like, oh, he's looking for me. And you're like, yo man, you're like, that's why I do it, man. Is like see someone say my lyrics and shit, like you're like, that's why I fucking do it. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. But yeah, so point is yeah, like I said, I have been following you guys for a long time.
That's fucking awesome.
And yeah, no, I remember too. We hung out that. So I go by Stylez, right? And I remember I had a fake name on my Facebook. It was Steve Radcliffe. And you're like, what is your real name, anyways? And then like I think you followed me or whatever. And then you're like, Steve Radcliffe. You're like, that's the whitest name in the world. Like, what the fuck? And
That
then you're
is
like,
the whitest name in the world.
but you're Stylez. No. And then like I think someone later asked me, and you're like, no, don't tell them, man. Like no. But then you found out my real name, which we won't disclose till later. But you're like, that's even whiter than the other name.
Yeah.
Shit.
Damn, am I like a bully?
No. No, actually, we got along really well.
Yeah.
We actually were bullying others.
Oh,
yeah.
It was me and you against them, man.
Perfect. Yeah. That's
There
more
you
my
go,
style.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Just not against me yet. They're not here right now.
Yeah.
But shit, no. Okay, so I mean,
Dude, that's so funny. I can't believe that. Yeah, that is totally what happened. I've misremembered that to myself since.
well, and like even too, it's like I feel like it sticks out in my mind or something, you know, like
Yeah.
more than like where you like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No,
It makes
dude,
sense over
here.
Man,
You know,
I get you. Sometimes there's things that inexplicably stand out.
Like inside jokes with yourself.
Yeah.
that night you said something like that to me. I said, man, I thought or vice versa, whatever I thought I was the only one. Like, shit, man. Yeah, that's it. Shit. But anyway, so okay, let's now focus here a little bit.
Okay.
So let's bring us back, all right?
All right.
So you grew up in Ottawa?
I grew up in Perth, outside of Ottawa.
Okay.
But then I moved to Ottawa when I was 9, grade 4, I guess. And then
Okay.
I lived in Ottawa until I was like 19.
Okay.
And then I moved away to Calgary. Then I came back to Ottawa when I was like 22. And that's when we started taking the music stuff more seriously. And then,
But you were making music at that point, like before
yeah,
that?
I mean, we
Just like-
were always making shit. We just weren't like doing anything with it, you know?
Yeah,
We didn't even know what to do with it back then. Like,
Well, I guess also too that would have been in a time where there was like right between the burning CDs and the like putting them
exactly,
online. Like,
bro. That's so we would do a show, and it would be like 20 of our friends, and we would burn like 30 CDs and sell them for $10.
yeah.
And they were just trash CDs. Yeah, but there was no real internet either. You know,
That's,
like it was like we were making songs, and then it's like, what the fuck do you do with it?
Yeah, that's
right,
it.
You
Yeah.
try to do a show, and then you don't have no idea how to do that. There was no like just we had a MySpace eventually, but then that was like you put a couple of your shitty songs on. It's not the same. Like
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
you couldn't just make songs and then get 1,000 plays.
Yeah, well, and that's why I say too is like it was right in the middle of everything because I feel like it's like it went up to CDs. And
Yeah.
it's like MP3 players, and it's like okay, cool, that's cool. You can like go to LimeWire and download Metallica or like
Yeah.
whatever, right? I say that because they
And
they
you
sued
could have like
Napster.
12
but
on,
then-
on your MP3
Yeah,
player.
you have
Yeah.
them there, but it's like if I make a song, it's like okay, yeah, cool. Like, and even at that point too, you probably have the technology up to the point where you're like recording on an 8-track or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you're like, now what do I do with it? How do I make this digital? And then even once you make it digital, you're like, well, like, yeah, do I just go around putting it on people's MP3 players, like, you know.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
feel
or
like there
just
was
like
a dead, like a literal dead
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then, but it's once it got going, right? It's like posting
Yeah.
all this shit and whatever. It's like, all
That's
right.
as soon as it became like, we can post videos and we can post shit on Facebook and there's like people on Facebook. That's when that's when we're like, oh, now we can like do a tour.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah.
can like email.
do
26
do
people.
it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Just
right.
do it all.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that you released like online, like as a like?
The first thing that we released was we were going by Tragic and Noogie. And that was
Okay.
when we were like, hella. That we actually did record on a 16 track, like
Yeah,
an old
yeah.
analog 16 track. Johnny made the beats on like a shitty Casio keyboard with Fruity Loops,
Yeah.
and we recorded with like a, not like the skinny condensers, the tiny skinny condensers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think they're actually for drums or something.
Right,
maybe?
like
yeah,
shotgun
okay.
mics or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a bass fucking.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
we recorded on one of those, just plugged into a interface or what are they?
Right.
A preamp,
Yeah.
bro. It was like it was nuts. We had to run the 16 track into the computer. It was like, bro, it was nuts. And we printed like 100 CDs ourselves and
Yeah.
did like shows in Manitic and shows in fucking
Yeah.
Osgood. We couldn't get shows in the city.
Why not? Like,
Well, dude,
Was it
just nobody like.
no scene.
No, there wasn't much of a scene, and it was like the scene was like, somebody comes through and 3 people open for them.
Yeah.
And there was
Right.
one of those a month, and it's like if you're not one of those people,
Right.
That's
That's-
still what it's like.
Still, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was So but that was good for us. That's how we got our pop because we eventually then there's like 500 people from our high school coming
Right.
to shows.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now all of a sudden, Ritual can't say no to us opening for Action Bronson. I'm like, bro, we'll sell 300 tickets.
Did you do that
Yeah.
Yeah.
over
right.
Action Bronson?
Man, we did
Did
all
he,
those
did
shows
he cook
back
for
then.
you and stuff?
No.
Yeah.
This was when he was playing shows in front of like 300 people.
Yeah. Okay. But was he eating well?
I mean, he looked like he was eating well. Yeah.
Did you guys have like a pretty like popular following within like your local circle? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that was our whole thing.
Yeah.
Not having a million fans, but having like, 100 that really cared. And
Yeah,
then like
right.
200 that really cared, and then 300, and then but never like. But that's a powerful thing, man. We got a lot of buzz by like 1,000
is.
people caring
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of a million people. You know?
But that's
Yeah.
also, I feel like the way you're saying it, the way I'm understanding it, is it's more like quality over quantity. You
Yeah,
know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Like,
yeah.
and that's where a lot of people say too. Like, I'd rather have this many like super loyal fans that love me than like like have 1,000 of these guys than have a million of people that are like, yeah, I like that one song, and then like it'll come up 20 years from now and I'll still like it, but like
Other than
I don't
that,
remember who did it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It comes on in the bar in 15 years. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's just a different game now, man. It's crazy. Even this new album, it's like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with Spotify and
Well, yeah.
trying to get on playlists. It's been 10 years since we put out an album,
Right.
Well, and that's it. And one of the other things I was gonna ask you too is like you probably even though like so on the same thing of like how I was saying like at one point like early 2000s it's like right between CDs and fucking like having
Streaming.
like
And streaming, yeah,
it
yeah.
was like this dead zone, right? But then like even from 10 years ago, like you're talking to now, like there was still streaming then, but it's just even 10 years ago from now till now, you probably still notice a big difference. In
Yeah,
that
oh,
too,
big
right?
time.
Like yeah.
Huge difference. Like back then, we would put out a project and then we'd go do a tour. And then, I don't know why. It's just what everyone told us to do. We'd
Yeah,
go
yeah.
do like,
That was the formula.
yeah,
right?
yeah. We'd go
Yeah.
do Thunder Bay in front of 8 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Brandon, Manitoba in front of like 22 people.
Yeah.
Lethbridge, Alberta in front of 8 people. But that's just what you did. You put out an album,
Yeah.
you did a tour, and then if you got 2 fans from every one of those dates, that's worth it.
Right.
Sell a few
Exactly,
albums, sell some
yeah.
T-shirts.
And really though, that's what it takes. Like even just you saying that you went and did all these things, right? Like, oh yeah, I went to Thunder Bay, performed for 20 people or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, like Brandon, Manitoba, like that's even further. And then it's like, yeah, probably another fucking 20 people or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like that tells me like, hey, you're super fucking dedicated and you love that. You know what I mean? But it's also like that is the formula, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
you can't give up because 8 people showed up, whatever. Like I saw a video where this guy's like, and I don't remember who it was, and it's probably not like an Eminem or like super famous rapper, but it's this guy that's actually doing fairly well, whatever. It might be one of those new Detroit guys, but it showed him performing at like the show, and it just like camera pans around. There is one guy sitting at the bar and he doesn't even really look like he cares. And it's like, it might even be this guy's friend, you know? And then
Yeah,
it's like, now
yeah.
he's like at a festival and there's like a bunch of people, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, like, yeah. Or even like if you look at Mercules, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, he even said like, yo, I was performing at pizza shops for 20 people. And then like now like this, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just say like, that it sucks, but that is the formula. And the fact that you actually went through the motions and were doing that says a lot about like you in general. And
Yeah.
not just your passion for music, but just you as a
But it's
person too.
how you got your music out there too, right? You can't put it on the internet,
Yeah, that's what you had to do. Yeah.
right? Yeah, to get it
Well, and even then
out
too,
of
it
your
was a
city.
touchy time where it's like, hey, yeah, I did stream it online. But it's like fucking half the people, they still have their fucking MP3 player and a CD
Yeah,
player in
yeah.
their car, right?
There's no real way to promote that, right?
No,
Maybe
no.
you could have put it online, but how do you bring
Yeah,
attention to
yeah.
that at that time? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
man.
what I was saying to Jonesy earlier. It's like nowadays, man. There's so many talented kids who are way more talented than I could ever dream to be, and they got 20 million plays on Spotify,
Yeah,
but they have no hope of being famous because there's so many other fucking amazing people,
Yeah.
right.
and they're like back in our day, man. We did a full. I mean, I toured Europe, North America on a video that had 20,000 plays.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Now people don't get out of bed unless there's 100 million plays.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
And
yeah.
like nobody wants to do the work anymore. And not to sound like a crotchety old fucking,
No,
whatever,
you're right though.
but it's like
yeah.
nobody even thinks of doing their first show until they have 100 million
That
spins on
whole
fucking
following,
Spotify.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, and it's just watered down. Like there's just so much dope shit out.
it's oversaturated.
There's so much crap too, but there's so much dope shit. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
my,
see,
my, you know Johnny Active Grady, you know that guy. He was like he's like my best friend still, but he was a young guy, moved to Toronto when we were like popping. Like when we moved from Ottawa to Toronto,
yeah.
then we just like we're doing so many shows in Toronto.
Where was that in the grand scheme of things? You came back from Calgary 22 or some shit you said?
Yeah, and then so we stayed in Ottawa probably 3 or 4 years, making music, building a buzz, and then we moved to like fuck it, our buzz is at the top
Toronto.
now. Let's go to Toronto.
Okay.
right.
And then we just did the same shit that we did in Ottawa. We just
Yeah.
like bum rush shows, got people to come out, and eventually we were like doing, I had 2 monthlies going where I was booking everybody who was mattered in Toronto, but still like making no money. Like there
Yeah.
was
yeah, yeah.
absolutely no money in it.
Right.
But like we weren't really. It was just all hard work,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all it was, and that burns you out after a while.
I feel
No
like I took you
doubt.
off track a little bit too. You're talking about Johnny Active as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, what were we talking about?
Mm.
That led up to that.
Yeah, it's my fault, man. I do this
No,
all the
fuck,
time.
dude. I'm super baked. I don't
yeah.
even know how I
No,
got
we
to
were
where I
just talking
got
about
to.
the journey and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's gone, man.
Something about
Johnny
the
Active.
city moving. No, I think I went off on the moving.
Yeah, because I wanted to
whatever.
know. I just want to know where it fit in, and I fucked it up there. But
Oh yeah. No, whatever. It's all
yeah,
good.
whatever. Johnny Active though, check him out.
Yeah, he's. Oh no, I was gonna say he's now a manager, an artist manager.
Okay, yeah.
And
Is he like famous?
no,
Or-
I
or,
mean
like,
he's like his music stuff. He stopped doing music. Now he manages, but
does he manage Jeezy by chance?
No.
okay.
He's
I
he's
know.
not that big.
I know. I have noticed a guy named Gabe involved with Jeezy, so
Oh, okay.
I was just
That
going out
would-
on a whim.
That would have
there,
been really
yeah.
cool. I should have lied.
Yeah.
Where was I going again? Oh yeah. So he shows me these guys. People send him stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And bro, these people they have like 50 million Spotify listeners, and their songs are fucking incredible, unbelievably well produced. And they're emailing him, he has super talented artists, and he's doing a lot of big things, but he's not like mega star maker.
Right.
These people are messaging him like, "I need help. I don't know what to do."
I
And it's like, bro, if I had half the fucking talent you had, I would have been the biggest star in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these people don't know how to do the grind anymore. They just make 10 songs that are like a formula that's gonna get a lot of spins,
yeah.
and then they have now what the fuck do I do?
Right.
See, but even too, I've had 3 people reach out to me over the time doing this, and like even the one guy, he's from Toronto, reached out to me. We kept in close contact for a long time, and like I slowly saw that he was into like some super like not good stuff.
Yeah.
And then he would tell
I
me
hate
stories. He would tell me stories about like stuff, but like leave out a bunch of details, and then like later tell me a story about a different thing. And then if I put all the details together, I'm like,
Oh,
so
you're a
the-
piece of shit.
oh, so the cops came and raided you because this.
Yeah,
Like, oh, they weren't
yeah,
looking for
right.
your friend. Like, oh, it's this. But either way, I say this to say this specific guy from Toronto hit me up. Then we talked for a while. He's like, oh, he wanted me to manage him, all this shit. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah. All this, whatever. But same shit. It's like he's looking for someone to help him and whatever. And it's like, cool, I can't help you and like I can lead you the right way, but like
I can't do the work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to like do it right. But the other thing he said too was like people they won't get out of bed unless it's like 100 million views and shit like that, whatever. I feel like that type of attitude is what discourages people too.
For sure.
Like
everyone's like, oh, I'll never get there.
Yeah,
What's the point?
They work on this song or this project, whatever. Oh, they put it out. They're like, oh, I got this.
They want the instant gratification
if you
from
compare,
it, right?
like, actually, I posted a thing the other day. It's this guy. He's like doing 75. He pulls out these 75-pound weights. And his girl or whatever is like, oh, like, that's impressive. Like, oh, it's crazy. He's like, no, not really, whatever. And she's like, no, like, what the fuck? She's like, you're comparing. Yeah, fucking some other guy could probably do way more. You've probably seen people do it. But like, for you, like, that's more than you were doing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Another thing too is you were talking about like the talent. Oh man, there's fucking talent everywhere, right? I saw this. I keep seeing a clip from it, but I saw this podcast where so this girl's like she works for a record label or something like whatever, and like she's saying like all these people bring me these artists and I go, man, like yeah, that's good, right? So they're talking about talent. She goes, talent is everywhere. She's like there's fucking for every person someone brings me, there's 100 to 1,000 people that are just as fucking good all over the world, right?
Yeah,
no doubt.
She's like, the thing is like. There's a lot more to it, right? Like one of the things she was stressing was like you have to have like a story now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and it's not even that you have to make it up. It's just that like I feel like she's saying I feel like that hits more, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, you're
People
this
want
guy.
someone to root
you're
for.
this. Like yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's like a
okay.
WWE superstar. You know, you got to go out there and fucking craft it and that character, you know, and own it and
get
brand
people on
it.
board
And,
even like you brought up Jeezy, right? Like
Yeah.
Jeezy, like there's probably a bunch of rappers just as good as him, same style, whatever, yada yada. But at the same time, like to me, he's interesting, right? Like
he's compelling.
He's supposed to be a doctor or something like that.
Right.
He was going to school to be a doctor or some shit like that, and he just dropped out, made music. And then like he said, I don't know how he says it now, but a couple years ago he made a statement saying he's like basically I'm homeless. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I figured he's rich, right? He's rich, yeah, but he's homeless. He fucking like wherever he goes, he stays in a hotel. He goes home, he stays in a fucking hotel. He doesn't own anything.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, that's like, but at the same time, he's like, man, I keep my money, like, right?
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, I just say like, it's like he's an interesting person, right?
Yeah.
So then that sells as well,
You can't
right?
just be. You gotta have a mix of things, you know. You can't just have the look. You can't just have the talent. Yeah, it's got to be something compelling about you. People need to be interested.
Yeah.
And some people just have it naturally.
Yeah.
Some people just something about them. They don't even have to open their mouth, and you're compelled.
It's that Riz those kids are talking about.
Yeah.
That charisma.
Oh man.
You know?
Yeah. Somebody. I was at this like cannabis conference with my boys, and
Where was this at?
In Vegas.
Okay.
So I'm almost 40. The other guy is a year younger than me, and then the other guy's like mid-30s, and these like, I don't know, 22-year-old girls come up and like, it's our friend's bachelorette party, and can one of you guys riz her when she comes out?
Yeah.
And we're all like, bro, I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
we thought it was something dirtier. We're like, what, like pissing on her or something?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What do you want us to do to your friend?
See,
So I now know what riz means.
So I have a almost 13-year-old child,
Oh, yeah.
and
So he's well up to date.
oh yeah, and at the same time too, just going through the internet and stuff, I see it. You get contacts, whatever. But on another note too, though, like my girl, she's actually like younger than me. But the thing is like she almost has no clue. Like she'll say something like that, and be like, "Riz," and she'll look at me like, "Can I do it?" You know what I mean? Like, But the thing is like. I have to explain half this shit. She's like, how the fuck do you know? Like, whatever. I'm like, well, like, my kid. She goes, well, she has a almost 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She's like, well, like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, but I think they live different lives, these kids. You know? Like, shit. Not only boy and girl, but at the same time, like, yeah, I think they live different lives, man.
Also, the just like hip hop culture in general is like Peter Pan syndrome. Like, you're kind of you're kind of always young.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, man.
Like, I do not feel like my 40-year-old friends.
No, well, even too, it's like I've had so many people say this to me as time goes on too. They go, you notice like you know, okay, we're almost 40 or whatever, right? And like I said, they said this earlier too. You know, like, oh, we're in our early 30s, and it's like You ever remember like when you're a kid, you see like your aunts and uncles, they're like in their 30s or whatever, and it's like they seem so much more mature. And, like, and then it's like we're sitting here, we're still dressed like hoodies and t-shirts and shit, like whenever we're fucking 20 or whatever, you know. And then still like now, you know, but then it's like still, it's like, is it because we're different, or is it because the world is different, or like what is it, you know? Because even too, like I live like right downtown, and I see like people walk by. But they'll be in a suit or a dress or whatever. There's all these offices, right? I see them and I go, man, like that person could potentially be my age, but like
or younger.
They look older than me.
Sometimes you run into like a 29-year-old. You're like, bro, you could be my uncle.
Yeah. One of these. Right.
Yeah, why not?
So,
like, I don't know what life's done to you, bro, but
I'm good actually. Yeah, I don't think so.
Also, I was reading this things. You're talking about age before I lose my train of thought.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No. I was desperate to interrupt you and while you were talking, but I didn't. Cheers. Just talking about how when you're young, like the ages of 15 to 20 seem like it took a fucking full lifetime.
Yeah.
And now, like 30 to 35 was like fucking.
Yeah, it disappears,
and
man.
It's crazy how much
fast it
like,
goes.
Or even just one summer when you were like 16. One summer seemed like it took 3 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
for sure.
And it just everything just exponentially is just like
gets faster.
Oh man,
faster.
and the like theory this guy said, I'm gonna totally lose the train of thought, but it's something about how because your brain is constantly doing some sort of arithmetic, and so the like as the time in front of you gets more wide, then your brain like slices the time behind you so it seems faster. I'm fucking it all up, but there's some theory about how your brain processes information.
I feel
it. Well, it's like that your day-to-day routine, right? So you wake up, you work a 9 to 5. Well, you want to get through that day as fast as possible, right?
Yeah.
You want that day to go as easy and fast as possible.
We're always looking for tomorrow.
Exactly. You're always looking.
We're always waiting for Friday.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. And you always have so many little things when you become an adult. It's like, oh, in 2 weeks we have Stacy's thing.
Yeah.
So now you're just living in these 2 week, 3 week increments.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's funny because I feel like both what you just said and what you said were like kind of like along the lines of what I was trying to say is like so even too like I think, and I'm only honestly just figuring this out whenever you were saying this. I'm like, wait, you know what? I feel like what it is like when you're younger, you live more like right now, right?
Yeah.
And like, but as an adult, like you're living more like because you are kind of worried about tomorrow just to make sure like everything's gonna be good. But then it's also I was gonna bring up it's also like because to me the summer's almost over.
Yeah, it is.
It fucking just started a week ago. But
Exactly,
to me, it's almost over because I'm like,
you're already worried about.
It's like Canada Day, and it's like, okay, I have a fucking this. Oh, my brother's birthday. Okay, and then I have like this, like there's a wedding I'm going to.
Yeah,
and it's like
there's 9 things coming up,
and I'm doing this and like whatever, and then I'm like, next thing I know, everything's all booked
it's fucking
up, and
Christmas.
it's just all
whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's like, I get to the end of August, early September, and then it's just like. Christmas.
Boom, Christmas. Now you're
like,
just living from Christmas to summer and then back to Christmas.
And I feel like if you have all that shit planned ahead, and I'm not saying don't plan stuff ahead, it's just that as an adult you are more like organized and planned ahead. So if you have all that shit planned ahead, you're like, you like
instead of 365 days, now you've blocked it off into like 32 chunks.
Now
it's just fucking.
Right.
But it's like I said, it's like I'm living at the end of the summer because I'm like, hey, I have all these things planned. Let's do them, right? Whereas a kid, you're like, all right, I'm here. And then you wake up tomorrow and I'm here.
right here.
You know?
Exactly.
So then every day is so long and you're like, man, like that 2 months off school was like you said, it's like fucking 3 years. You know what
every summer when you're in
elementary
elementary school is like a full lifetime adventure.
Yeah, man.
Sure,
yeah.
Right?
Nuts.
And it already seems like it's already close to finished right now. Like
for
July
sure.
this weekend already.
Well,
right?
people are already calling me about shit happening in September. I'm like, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
But even too, like when
I'm
I
not
think
ready.
about when I saw you guys at the Bros Farm or whatever, I'm saying this because that was 2016. That's 8 years ago, right? And and a lot of shit happened to me like earlier in that year. I was like working away in Barrie and shit, whatever. So that was like I feel like a big event for me. There's a lot happened there. Then it's like, I do this. Okay, yeah, cool. Then like we don't need to get into it, but then towards the end of the year, a bunch of shit, a whole bunch of fucking shit. And like, so the reason why I'm saying this is because that year sticks out to me huge, right?
Yeah.
And now that we're talking to you,
I'm
and I'm looking back on it,
tied into that year.
I go, yeah, exactly, yeah. fucking hate that guy.
No, but
No,
maybe
no.
I just stand out, but more because of that.
Yeah,
because I was
exactly.
part
Yeah,
of that.
but then it's like to me, like just since we're talking about like, oh yeah, like time wise and shit, I'm like, because you're like, oh, I'm 30, then I'm 35. It's like, man, that year actually, oh shit, here we go. That year I turned 30, so then it's like, man, I'm actually like almost 38 now, you know. So it's like, but I swear to you, it feels like it was like last year,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
2 years
for
ago.
sure, man.
And COVID doesn't help either, man, because they
No.
crack that shit up like that. You're like, man, I spent fucking 2 years sitting in my house.
Yeah.
And then it just like when you get to go out and do stuff, that whole 2 years is deleted. You're like,
yeah. It's like total refresh.
yeah.
And we're all-
2019,
yeah.
I was just minding my business.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Now
here
it's
we are.
2024.
Yeah.
Sick.
And you know, someone said the other day, like we're halfway through this year, right? And then in half a year from now, we'll be half a decade from COVID
Yeah, I know.
happening, right? Like that makes it seem fucked up when you
Yeah.
say it like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be 5 years, man.
Yeah,
Come
that's
this
fucked
yeah,
up, bro.
It's
true.
crazy, yeah, because it started in 2020, right?
Yeah,
so
man.
next year is 2025.
Yeah,
That's half a decade.
that puts a distaste
I
in
was
your
not
mouth,
ready for
right?
that.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
No, I was just
Turn
gonna,
this
I
shit
was just
off.
gonna say, I was gonna say the same thing. Shut it off.
yeah.
I literally looked over this way and I was like, man, I don't even know if I could move or say anything right now. I'm like, shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
So it's-
March
Yeah.
of 2025, it'll have been
Ah,
5
5
years.
years, man.
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Crazy, eh?
That's fucked.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
I honestly, I actually like. It's probably the weed, but at the same time, I'm so thrown off right now. Like I'm like beside myself. Like I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to get back into the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But-
you fucked it all up, dude.
But I don't know what to say. This
No,
guy,
for
man,
real,
fuck.
man.
But no, okay. So, wow, okay.
yeah, we haven't been on it as any sort of path. In a
No,
long
exactly,
time.
and that's how it works. But okay, so and I will try and bring it back right now. But okay, so now, so like I said, you go to Calgary. You guys move. So you and Johnny both moved to Toronto on this mission of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're like,
Yeah.
let's get to Toronto. Let's copy and paste what worked in Ottawa for us.
It's like an
in a
ICP
bigger
thing.
City. Yeah,
That's what they
Right.
did. They got real big in Detroit, but by standing on the street, handing out flyers, handing out CDs, this and that, got a super big following. And they're like, let's just move to the next one and do the next thing, right? They're
Yeah.
like same shit, right? So I actually like that. But at the same time, too, was it solely for that, or was there other things you guys were adventuring on?
Well,
in
Johnny
Toronto as
wanted
well?
to go with his wife as well,
Okay.
and me and my girlfriend at the time also we wanted to move to Toronto. It's like
You wanted a bigger, better city.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the thing you do when you're 25 and you're like,
It's true,
oh,
yeah.
I've been in Ottawa now. Like, let's move to the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
for
like
sure.
it wasn't like, oh, we just got signed and now we're fucking rich in Toronto.
Yeah,
It was
Right.
just like, let's move to Toronto. That's the move.
Yeah.
Plus, it'll be good for the music.
Yeah.
Makes
Especially
sense.
too, since Toronto's bigger too. If you like I said, or well, like
You grew up
said,
in Ottawa.
copy paste that shit
Yeah.
in Toronto. So let's say, and I'm just using the 1,000 fans because you used it earlier.
Yeah.
Let's say you gained 1,000 fucking fans in Ottawa, right? So now you copy paste that in Toronto. You're now looking at a grander scale.
Yeah,
now
for sure.
that's fucking 5,000 or like
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right?
That was that was the plan. That was the idea, anyways.
yeah.
And I mean, it was Toronto, the music scene was a lot more bustling then. It was easier, we could,
Bustling.
yeah.
Write that down. No,
That's some
good.
old man shit.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
It was quite bustling.
Bustling.
So there was just shows. Man, we just did shows every weekend.
Yeah.
Every time anybody asked us to do a show, we said yes. We started throwing our own shows. You throw shows, and everybody wants to do it. Back then, anyways, everyone wanted to do a show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, I'm making music. To be real, I have to do a show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Of
if you can
course.
start offering shows, then now you're getting on shows, and man, we just like hustled our way into being in Toronto.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were fucking rich and famous. We weren't
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It was barely scraping by. 2 guys living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like it was fucking fun, man, and it was.
You
It
made
was
yourselves a
amazing.
part of the
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, exactly. We just made that's exactly what it is. We
Yeah.
forced ourselves into the scene and made people pay attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it, man.
It's an insular scene, man. Toronto is a hater-filled scene.
Right.
Very cliquey.
Yeah.
We just forced ourselves on people, kill
Yeah.
them with kindness, do favors, treat people with respect. Everyone's used to being shit on in the music industry.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're just nice to people and do good work, you get things. We worked our fucking asses off and
Yeah.
Yeah. No
got
doubt.
to a certain level that we did, and hit our peak and
Yeah.
called it quits.
Yeah.
So was like a reason for like the hiatus, and then now like this reignition of putting out videos and music again.
Yeah.
Like what sparked
Well, man, honestly,
both of those
it
decisions? I guess
It just stopped being fun, is why we stopped. It was
Yeah.
just such a hustle, man. It was like nonstop.
Yeah,
Emailing to try to get shows, emailing like a girl, an 18-year-old girl that writes blogs at Vice
right.
to write about her fucking album.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
You eventually
emailing.
hit a point where
Oh.
you decide to
It just stopped. The funnest shit was
focusing on other things.
getting together with Johnny, getting stoned,
Yeah.
getting fucked up. Get some fucking booze. Like spend 3 days just
Yeah.
locked in a room making
Yeah.
music.
Right.
That's the fun part.
Well,
Right.
and
The fun
I-
shit isn't the emails and the fucking
Yeah, no
Well,
doubt.
like, so two things I've collected to
Yeah.
say through this is, one is that, like, you're talking about, like, two dudes living in a one-bedroom apartment, this and that, like kind of insinuating, like, shitty situation or,
Chasing the
like, whatever.
dream.
But I'm sure, like, there's lots of fucking memories and moments and
Oh,
all
bro,
that. It's like, that's the fun part of it.
Dude, that was the shit. That it wasn't the
Yeah.
bad. Honestly, the even when it ended, it wasn't like it was bad.
Yeah.
For
It-
sure.
It wasn't like we were
No
like,
doubt.
this fucking like we were still at our peak. We had just put out another album. It was doing really great, but it's like, bro, I just don't. I'm not enjoying this anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even
for
too,
sure.
though,
It's
I
not
feel
that
like-
that you hate what you're going through. You guys are just hitting that point of
Yeah, let's do something
you
else.
have to focus on something else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get drained and burnt out
for
after
sure.
a certain
Especially when you
point.
go that hard. Like
Yeah,
it
no
was just
doubt,
like
man.
100% pedal on the metal for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Eventually
reminds
it's
me
like,
of that
fuck.
meme though, where you're seeing like the two people digging a tunnel,
Yeah,
and you got the one guy that's like this close to the fucking
yeah.
Right,
diamonds,
you're right,
and
yeah.
they're-
I
and
know,
they're like,
I know.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
okay.
you know what? I'm gonna stop digging.
Okay, I have so much to say now.
Yeah.
So the other thing I was gonna say too, though, is that so I was saying, like, even though it's like maybe tough times or like might have been not the most ideal situation, like I'm sure there was like
Oh, it was
like,
all
there
good
all the
memories,
fun
man.
shit.
There's no bad memories.
No
But then
doubt,
the
yeah.
other thing is shit. What'd you just say?
Me?
Yeah.
To like just
Yeah,
get-
it's like you never like you're like it's like
you never
the,
know
the,
when
Oh,
the
you're
point
yeah,
when you
the-
decide
yeah,
to turn
yeah.
around and walk
So,
away is the
on that-
Yeah,
the
on that-
time
But like,
of the
I
right
don't
So,
even
but on
know.
that-
I don't
on
even
that-
know what our end game was. Like, I couldn't even tell you what the diamonds were.
right.
But on that
right.
same topic too, though, is like even like I was saying earlier about how like the fact you were going and doing these like 8-man shows and like touring to do these little shows and whatever shows the dedication, but also that's the formula to get to that point,
Yeah.
right? So then like shit, help me again. What'd you say?
Like, you never know when you turn
You're-
back.
yeah.
So,
Time
so
you quit is
Roddy
the time
Rich,
you're
Roddy Rich, and I
right
brought this up
there.
on the last episode. Roddy Rich, you know Roddy Rich?
I don't think so.
Okay, you know the box, like.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Normally when people do that, you know that song?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
They suck, but you nailed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I knew immediately what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
so the thing is that guy apparently the legend has it that so he was making music, right? Obviously, and he got to a point where he's like, man, like I just like I fucking like I give up, like fuck it, whatever. He's like, all right, but he had this song, and he's like, whatever, man. And he had already basically given up in his mind, but was like, whatever, just put out the song, like cool, whatever. And that fucking song still, that song still to this day, I make two sounds and someone
Right.
knows what it is,
Yeah,
right?
bro, it's great.
So he blew right the fuck up, right? So it's
Yeah.
like the tunnel thing, like he's saying, is like right about there. And like I said, I collected a bunch of things to say through all this. You were talking about Toronto being cliquey. I know this is something that we both wanted to ask you. And you were talking about having trouble getting shows and this and that in Ottawa. Did like I see it nowadays, but like back then, did you see that Ottawa was like that as well? It was a little cliquey where it was like if you weren't that guy or if you didn't, like.
Well, I mean, it's just not as many opportunities, in Ottawa. Like
Right.
when we were at our peak in Ottawa, there was like Babylon nights, Barrymore's nights,
It's a dollar
Zaphod's
store
nights.
now, eh? Babylon?
Oh yeah.
It's a dollar store, bro. I buy
That
cinnamon
sucks.
hearts there.
No way.
Sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
But
eh?
there was a proper little scene there. Like
Yeah.
when we first started in Ottawa, there was nothing. There was just like one big show, like Raekwon comes through,
Yeah.
right.
and then then a little scene started, and there was monthly nights at Babylon, Barrymore's, Zaphod's, and then. But I don't know what it's come to now. But I mean, honestly, it's tough to break in anywhere, man. That's the hardest thing
Yeah,
is to
true.
start
Yeah.
getting shows, and it's until you can prove value. Like we just had to literally, the first thing we did was fuck, you know Ritual, that
Yeah.
old venue.
Yeah.
So the Capacity guys, it was somebody like Cannabis or something, or somebody that was like,
With a K.
like marginally cool,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
wasn't like my hero, but like pretty
Yeah.
dope old school
Not
guy.
Snoop Dogg, but Cannabis.
Yeah. And so they were like, yeah, sure, you can open, and they gave us tickets, so we ended up selling like 150 tickets or something.
Holy fuck.
And then so once you prove the value, and then it was like, bro, then we were off to the races.
Yeah, no
We were
doubt.
doing every Ritual show.
Yeah.
Like Mac Miller.
At
we opened
$20,
for.
that's $3,000.
Yeah, but we didn't get to keep.
No, I know. Yeah, you got to pay them
You gotta pay
everything
them.
but $5.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
I think we just
Like-
had our guarantee. I think we had our guaranteed pay, and
Oh yeah.
we
yeah.
just
Oh,
sold.
true,
we
true,
just
true.
sold it like they give you tickets to sell. You don't have to.
Right.
We were just like,
That's
fuck
the
it, let's
same,
show
yeah.
them what we can do.
Yeah.
Mac Miller though, that's sick too. Yeah.
Yeah, all those dope Ritual shows back in the day. Like fuck, I'm drawing a blank on everybody. But then then the scene started getting better, and then there
Did you
was
open
like
for Raekwon too?
yeah, open for
Okay, I
Raekwon.
just figured to use that as an example because
Yeah.
I just wanted to check. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Trying to figure out what caliber of.
But it's tough to get it anywhere, man. Everyone
Yeah,
wants
I
to do
guess.
shows. It's
Yeah.
that's the everyone who's in their basement making the songs
Yeah.
with their boys. They're like, man, we want to do the show. So it's
Yeah.
and it's just to I mean, it's different now too. There's all this pay to play bullshit. Like
Yeah, that's it.
so and so brings in Lloyd Banks, and if you give him 3 Gs, you can open for Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks is performing in Canada today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's I
My homies opening. Actually, 3 of my homies.
I was just using that.
I know.
yeah.
I know.
You're
I
right.
just-
You are right.
You know what I mean?
though,
Though,
yeah.
like that shit didn't really happen when I was. It was like if you
Yeah.
can sell tickets, dope.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like now you have to put money in. So it's kind of wrecked the scene in that way that there's, and there's still some dope monthlies in Toronto and stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there is in Ottawa. I don't know, man. It's just the landscape has changed so much, and
True.
Yeah.
it's been what 15, 16, 17 years since we started doing shows,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Right.
longer, 20 years since
Yeah.
we started doing shows.
Yeah.
Back our first shows, it was like local pub. Hey, bro. Instead of the open mic on Thursday, can we do 5 rap songs and bring 100 of our friends?
Right.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And so we're like,
And
oh, we're
that's
doing a
huge,
show, man.
bro.
Yeah, it's a
Bro, I
show.
felt like a rock star. Like my
Yeah.
buddy's with his fucking Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the tape in it.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's definitely went downhill since then because now shows definitely don't even have 100 people there.
Yeah.
Let alone one
Every show's
artist or
pay to
a
play.
band
Yeah.
bringing in 100 people. And I find when it's like that, the local artists, people show up for them, and then once they're done, they leave. They don't even stay for the main act,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that sucks.
the fucking the big headliner that came to the city is playing in front of nobody.
Yeah.
And it's
Or
just
the opposite. They don't show up for the fucking the openers, and then they show up for the headliner, right?
right.
Like, but and like, I realize too what I'm about to say is like, I have all these things that I collect through the conversation, and I'm literally going back in topics a little bit.
No, that's fine.
But
I'm glad you're carrying it.
yeah. Well, actually, you know what the thing is I'm actually really bad at it. And right now, I was doing really good, except like literally as I started talking, I went, man, I don't even know what I was gonna say.
About the shows and shit.
No, it was something from earlier too. Oh, just that also too, like it's something you had said. You were talking about like basically I got the idea of like it was like a hard time to get your name out, sort of, right?
Yeah.
And how we were talking about earlier, how there was that lull between CDs and like actually like streaming shit. There was that MP3 era. I feel like you guys fucking kind of like were big, like not necessarily in that MP3 era, but right at the start of the streaming thing. So it's almost
YouTube.
like so discouraging because you're like, where do I go? What do I do? Whatever. So
Yeah,
then it's just like
there
you
was
had
no,
your
there was
height.
no clear path.
You had your
on what to
height
do.
in the
Right.
like hardest part of that time. Like
Yeah. Like you put out an album, and it's like, oh, do we press some? So we press some CDs
Yeah.
to sell at shows, but then it's also like, oh, we also have to make sure it's on like streaming sites, but we also have to make sure we do a video for YouTube.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like we don't know. You don't know where to focus any of your energy, and like
Right.
And there was no
especially-
established
How to
shit at the time, like
organize.
Spotify or something.
No,
you know,
no,
like-
exactly.
Like, were you guys doing all the work yourselves? Like,
Yeah, I mean, we had a manager when we moved to Toronto. This guy from Ottawa who was just like our a fan and a homie
yeah.
was like, "Can I come with you guys and be your manager?" And so we're like, yep. And so he just, man, he was a fucking legend. He was the guy so me and him lived together for 18 months in like a 400 square foot studio apartment.
Oh shit.
And just handled all the grind, all the like, man, we booked all the shows, did all the, just handled all the, like, we wouldn't have been able to do it I wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Yeah. Was this one of the guys that was at Rose Farm with you?
Max, I don't know, was he there with us?
I don't think so. I remember a guy named Tyler.
Oh, no, that was just my homie, Tyler. Yeah. That guy.
I think there was like 3 dudes.
Yeah, I think those were just my boys.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this guy, Max, was just literally, he was just a fan. He came up to us we were doing an event for Carlton, like the Carlton Frosh. I forget what it was. It was.
They allowed people like you in there? Or?
Yeah.
No,
People like us, I should say. Sorry.
Definitely not into the school, but it was DL Incognito. Remember DL Incognito?
Shit,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
from Ottawa, man.
Yeah, he's from Ottawa. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
it was us, DL Incognito, and who else? Mocha Only.
Shit.
That was the show for Carlton
okay.
Frosh. And so he came up to us and was like, "Hey, I'm managing this guy. You know, Spittin' Image."
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
Spittin'
yeah.
Image, by the way, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
what
Been
a
on
fucking
here.
mensch. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So
man,
he's like, I'm managing Spittin' Image. Can I manage you guys? And so we were like, fuck, we never had any help. So man, he didn't really have any experience, honestly. Spittin' Image was just his homeboy.
Yeah.
So he moved with me to Toronto,
Oh shit.
moved in with me, quit his government job in Ottawa.
What?
Straight up.
He believed, man. He believed.
Yeah. And then came and lived with me. We lived there for almost 2 years. We booked the MOP tour. We booked the North American tour. We did, and we booked like a Vermont through to New York, all the way down, all the way across, back up, like a full North American tour.
Oh yeah.
We booked
Is
two
that what
Canadian tours.
there was like videos back in the day? Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah.
it was from? Was that? Yeah.
Well, a bunch of them.
Or just different tours?
Yeah, just different tours. Johnny was ahead of the game, man. He was making us like TikTok content before TikTok was a
But
thing.
see,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I mean, it's like I feel like you guys were like not only like working the hardest, but also you were like the biggest at that time where there was just this like and no one knows what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
So I just feel like fuck,
We
it
just
was such a-
contented people to death, man.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Because even then, like to think about what you're saying, like like you guys are like vlogging
yeah.
before like really it was anything.
Yeah. We were doing videos.
People are like, what do we do with this video?
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
because I remember there was one video specifically, and I know that I'm all over the place, but there was one video
That's fine.
specifically you guys were driving like in snow or something, or there was like horrible weather or some shit.
Yeah.
I love that shit though. I like the like I said again, like it's that dedication, right? It's that fucking
Bro, we were right in it, man. We were as
Oh, yeah,
committed as
for
you could
sure.
be. Like living in our van for like 2 months to tour across Canada, sleeping in like, bro, it's like minus 20 in the mountains in BC.
Yeah.
Like, why are we touring through the fucking Rogers Pass and in the middle of winter? Like, why
Yeah.
are we doing that? Like, we got snowed in once. We had to sleep in our car for like 2 days. We got
Oh, yeah?
everyone had to stop at a gas station, and then it snowed so much, and the plows plowed in over the exit to the gas station. It was like,
get out.
so we couldn't get out. So
No
and
way.
they couldn't come get us out. So we were stuck there for like 2 days.
Holy
Oh.
fuck.
Just sitting in our fucking
yeah.
shitty van, like out of weed, just like
Oh,
what the
man,
fuck
I
do we
would
do?
have
That's
lost
it.
my mind.
That's
I
it
honestly
right
would
there,
I
dude.
would have been like, fuck this.
It was like
Yeah.
being
I'm walking
honestly,
home.
we had a bunch of booze, but we didn't have any weed, and we were more kind of into weed then.
Yeah.
And but we just got wasted, and like we slept for like 18 hours of
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
I
no
thought you were
shit.
gonna say it was like one of those. You know how they have like the big like you go up and over the mountain.
Yeah.
And then like when it's like snowing and shit, you can't go there unless you have chains. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So
I mean,
thought
that
you were-
happened to us too. We
Well, yeah.
got stuck on the mountains.
I thought you were gonna say some shit like that, but
Yeah.
then like no, they fucking plowed so much snow over the fucking thing. Because like here,
there
right?
was like 30 other cars in there with us. There was
when
all of
they
us were
plow the
trapped.
snow
Crazy.
here, right? It's like, oh yeah, I shoveled myself out, or like, oh yeah, by the time fucking they come and clean out the fucking like the unit like
Yeah.
parking lot and shit, right? Like, oh yeah, I get out, right? Like, no, it's so much that just puts into like perspective how much snow was there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even get out. Like, yeah, I was there for days.
I would have sued. Like, whatever fucking city did
Yeah,
that to me, I
and-
fucking
Holy
sued.
fuck, yeah.
You got me
man.
trapped here for 2 fucking days. I'm
I
like,
gotta
"Oh,
at least
get the
pay for
fuck
my
outta here."
meals. I had to
Yeah,
eat at this
it's
fucking
crazy.
shitty restaurant for 3 days.
There's an alternate universe where like me and Johnny killed each other in that van.
Yeah.
It was tense moments.
That's how
Oh, man.
brothers are made.
Yeah.
For real though, like, cause holy fuck,
I got some fucking stories I could tell you.
No doubt,
we
man.
got time, man. We got time. So here's the thing, okay? We can get to it for sure. I really would like to focus more on right now specifically. Is like, okay, and not to just like demand what we talk about, but that's my role.
No,
Would you like
bring the
another
focus.
something?
I'm okay right now.
Okay, so anyway, so what I was thinking is, okay, you guys moved to Toronto. You guys like, make a name for yourselves there. You guys are doing shows. You were putting on your own shows
Yeah.
and offering. So then do you guys like headline those shows?
No.
No, it's just like a
Yeah, so we would just put on, hip hop nights. So like
roll the dice. See who goes first.
No, we would just like holler. It was just an opportunity to get people shows who were dope.
Yeah.
Like that's how you ingratiate yourself in the scene, to get people on these dope shows. And if you, the scene was live enough then, there was enough life in it that if you put like three or four good artists who had a little local following who were dope and known, you could have like 100, 150 people out at just like a local night.
Yeah.
And so that's how I paid my rent for like 3 years in Toronto.
Fucking right.
Just like throwing shows. The touring shit was no money. We weren't making any money touring.
Right.
Were you paying any money to tour?
No.
No, like then that's
Exactly.
fucking
Exactly. And
yeah.
all of the money that we just went back into shit. So like,
Right.
so with some shows, if we did like a blues fest, or we did like, one of the big festivals, it would be a pretty fat check compared to what we normally get.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're like, oh, dope, let's pay our rent and like put a mortgage on a house.
Yep.
Just like, no, let's get 3 music videos. We can press 100 vinyls.
Right.
And we can put gas in the car for, you know what I mean? It was just like,
Yeah. We ate
immediately-
dinner that night. Like,
yeah. It's just like immediately everything went back into it. So it's hard to know, like I didn't use any of it for my personal, neither Johnny or I ever used the band money for our personal stuff.
No.
It was all just for the
But that's
stuff.
what you should
That's
do too, right?
dedication,
Putting it
man.
back
Yeah,
into yourself,
that's it.
invest in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, or in maybe not necessarily yourself personally, but like in the thing that you're doing.
Well, that's it.
because
And
then you
each
don't
other.
have to, then you just kind of have to worry about your own living outside of it. If this can
Yeah,
become
yeah.
its own like snake eating its tail, then
Right.
then you can have your own thing.
You just got to worry about where you lay your
Yeah,
head
I like that.
and where you get your food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then I also know at some point, so like were you living in Toronto whenever you guys performed at the farm thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so then and then I know that from that at some point. Okay, wait, I'm all over the place. Okay, but I know from that not long later you moved to New York.
Yeah. So I moved to Toronto in 2016. So right before that, I moved to Toronto in like probably like March of 2016.
Oh, just months before.
Yeah, I moved back to Toronto. So
Right.
I had left Toronto, then went back, and then and the timelines are all funky. So and then I met that's when I met my now wife.
Okay.
And then
She's
so
from
then
Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, she's actually from Ottawa originally, and I randomly worked with her sister way back in the day. I
way.
bounced at the Brig for like 2 weeks, and her sister was a bartender there, and so we had
Must
like,
have been bigger then. No, I'm just making funny.
bro,
man. I'm sorry.
I,
I'm sorry.
I was actually
Bad
much
joke.
skinnier, but I don't know. I guess they were hard up for bouncers, but yeah, random. And then so my wife and I ended up getting married in 2017. We moved to New York in 2019.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like obviously
By like 2017, we had 20. I think our last show was 2018.
Okay.
That was our last show, and we hadn't put out any new music for like
For like 3 years at
yeah,
least,
yeah,
eh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Like
it was
2015 or 16?
I think
was your-
2015
yeah,
was the
your
last-
last album.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was Olga.
no, that was so it was Olga, and then there was the like acoustic.
Oh yeah, the
Passion
yeah.
project
It's
that
like
we-
a Spanish name or something. Yeah.
We inexplicably made a passion project before we were famous.
but also too, okay, and the thing is I know that I'm interrupting how you got to New York, but something that Jonesy said earlier made me think of this, and it's one of the questions I didn't write down. So I'm glad Jonesy said it because
Yeah.
here we are. But so this album you just put out is like announced as like your last album, right?
Mhm.
But like around the time that you guys performed at the farm thing, were you guys not teasing after that like a final project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just thought of that either yesterday or earlier today. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, man, I remember them talking about it. Because like I said,
Yeah,
after.
right.
Yeah,
So,
a
like,
couple
I-
of those songs actually made it onto the new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I listened to your shit, but then like after the fucking show when we met and shit, Like I actually
like nothing new's coming out, bro.
Well, no, we actually like followed each other and like actually like saw shit. So that's how I know you go to New York and like whatever. But yeah, I thought about it. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, weren't they putting out like this last project before? I even almost can kind of picture the cover of it.
Dude, we did. We had cover art and everything, and then we're like, bro, there's no one's gonna even remember that happened. Who cares?
Except for this guy.
I fucking did.
Your
man.
memory serves you well, my friend.
My man.
Not only do I have a good memory, but I guess I'm a pretty big fan, man.
Yeah, I love both those things.
But yeah, but the other thing is, okay, yeah. So you moved to New York. What was and this is something I actually always wondered, just as a personal thing, is like, what was the whole like we're going to New York thing? Like, was there something waiting there for you, or you know?
Well, so I mean, it's kind of a topsy-turvy story, but I guess long story short, my wife's company got bought out by a New York company.
Right.
And so my wife was like, they're either going to like lay us off or try to move us to New York.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, works in the private sector.
Yeah. So she works in advertising.
Stuff. Right.
And then so we weren't hearing anything, and we were like, so what's it going to be? You think everyone's going to get laid off? And then Maya was like, I'm just going to straight up ask them if we can go to New York. Do you want to go to New York? And I was like, yeah, fuck yes. Let's go to New York. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And then so she just made it happen, man. She like there was no plans for her company to send us. She like got in touch with the new company that had purchased her company. It was like, I want to come to New York. And they handled everything, man. They handled all of our visas.
Crazy.
Yeah, they did everything.
Well, they probably liked it too because they didn't have to hire or train anybody. Yeah, because
they were purchasing that company for their like fucking evil
right. So she
advertising algorithm, and Maya's the one who knew how to do that.
She was an asset.
Yeah. So it was an easy sell to them too. But also around that time, like 2018, I had, as like a side hustle, started doing this recruiting in the cannabis industry.
Oh shit! How
and so? Well, just my Johnny Active, same guy. Yeah. He started this a company as like a side hustle doing recruiting in cannabis. So like,
how like recruiting? How I mean, like,
so like,
well, this would have been before it was legalized.
No, it was like right on the cusp.
Right on the cusp.
Yeah, it was right on the cusp. So that's why we started then, because we're like, this is going to be a need.
But
so like,
how are you
so like corporate recruiting. So like, say you're Joe Blow Cannabis Company.
How'd you know mine? Anyway. Sorry, go ahead, man.
And you need a director of finance for your company.
Right.
Or you need a master grower, or you need a quality assurance director. You need an R&D scientist. And you put shit out on Indeed, you put ads, you can't find the right person. So then you hire us, and we're like headhunters for the cannabis industry.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So I know the guy. Like,
oh yeah, we know all the guys.
Okay. Yeah, I should start doing this shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
and then so that had been going really well for us in Toronto, and so I'm like, the States is like California's already popping, Colorado, Northeast is next, like New York, New Jersey's next, so let's go there, and then so that I can be like the U.S. guy as well.
Yeah.
So it was like a 2-pronged attack, but it was my wife.
2-pronged attack, man.
Anyway, it's also the closest U.S. state you could.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the thing. My family's still a 5-hour drive or 8-hour drive, whatever, and like. Yeah.
So why not, man?
Yeah, well, for sure. It's like we had kids, and we were renting a fucking piece of shit apartment in
So you had kids or you didn't have
No, we didn't have kids.
We didn't have kids. I was like, what?
No, that's awesome.
We didn't own anything. Like, fuck it. Let's go start fresh.
You guys took a chance.
You got to, man. Life's, you like if your life's just like a branch like this without any.
You got it,
You got to intersect it sometimes, man. You got to go off on tangents sometimes.
Yeah. And fucking as much as you may not want it, chapters come to an end in life, right?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. And you have to know when to recognize that.
Exactly.
Important.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
So, did you like New York? Or I guess you're still there. Do you?
Well, we're not in the city anymore. So, a year and a half ago, we bought a house outside the city. So now we're like an hour and a half northwest.
In Newark.
No,
I'm just making shit up, but
in Rock Hill, it's like fucking middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Okay.
But it's nice. But we were in Queens for like 4 years.
Shit, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And we loved it. I didn't do any music shit at all there, so I don't have anything music related.
I saw like rooftops and shit and like whatever.
Bro,
and I was like,
we were just lamping out, man.
Music and shit. Like,
well, I mean, we were making Johnny and I. We've never stopped making music. Every time we hung out for the last 10 years, we make at least one song.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 songs. Sometimes, man, he came to visit me in at our new house right after we bought it. And he stayed for a weekend or like 4 days. We didn't leave my basement. Ordered food, Just that's where like 8 of the songs or 7 of the songs from this album came from.
Oh
Just
shit.
that
Okay.
at one session, and we have like 50 songs we've never released.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
So many songs we've made over the last. 'Cause every
Oh,
dude,
send
every
me
time
a couple,
we hang out,
man. I
bro,
won't
we
tell
got
anybody.
B
I won't tell
sides.
anybody,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We're stacking B sides.
Shit. We got so many B sides. We started a C side.
Yeah, we're on the F sides. now.
Yeah. So just to touch on yours and Johnny's relationship,
Yeah.
I've noticed that all night you like from the start you have said we moved here, we moved there. So how long have you and Johnny known each other?
Man,
yeah,
from time since grade 7.
yeah.
Oh,
So you
shit.
guys fucking
Yeah,
did it together, man.
yeah, bro,
That's
and
awesome.
like, man, back in those days, we were like grade 9, grade 10. We were making songs
yeah,
with like the like Alcatel fucking trash computer mics, like those.
Yeah,
the
little
shitty ones with
stick
the one
mic
hole.
thing, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like a Fisher Price keyboard that Johnny like wired into his fucking shitty
Yeah.
desktop somehow.
making
Bro,
beats with the
we've
trash
been
can.
making songs.
Yeah.
Bro, straight up, we were doing that.
That's my favorite song, by
Yeah,
the way.
really?
Nickelback, Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick,
Making beats
bro.
with the trash can. I love it,
Because even
love
too, like,
That's
like
what's
'cause
up.
I would have showed him like long time ago and shit, right? But then even too, like whenever I'm talking about, because I think even too, we booked one at some point. You want to like, I got sodas too if you want. You
Oh,
like
one
these?
more of
Yeah,
these.
yeah. But yeah, so then I was like, oh yeah, he's coming on the show, whatever. Yeah. He's like, man, I just remember the one song. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. Actually, speaking of that though, so funny thing is, I was just explaining to him earlier, and I hope I don't forget my actual question, but I was explaining to him earlier that I'm like, it's like sometimes, I'm thinking about the show. I'm like, hey, I have a question, whatever. Yeah, okay, yeah, but that's a question that I just genuinely want to know. So if that person's sitting in front of me, like, I'll ask them, right? So I was saying, like, lately I've been trying to actually write down certain questions like that because I find at the end I go, oh shit, I forgot to ask them. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
right.
And so this is what I didn't write down. And I actually did forget it, and now
guys
it's
are
gone.
gonna
Oh
have
yeah,
to,
so the car in that video. So first of all, I wanted to, and useless information. These people probably don't even fuck care. I do though. Is the car in the video super sick car? Cool, yeah. Is it somebody like that owns it, or you guys rent it for the video?
No, it's my uncle's.
Yeah, okay, that's fire. Yeah, okay.
My uncle is the craziest dude. So he always just has like 10 hustles going at all times.
Okay.
He's one of these guys. And so one of his hustles is not really a hustle. It's not like a hustle. He's not ripping people off or anything, but he just always has like 10 different business ventures always happening.
Yeah.
He's always got something. And so one of them is buying, fixing up, and then selling old cars. So he's always got like 10 whips parked, like 10 dope cars parked in front of his house.
They're just like, oh, we're gonna film a video.
Yeah, like, can we take the convertible? He's like, yeah, no problem. I don't even remember what it was. Maybe a Buick or something. I think it was a Buick, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. But he's always got something dope. Like, anytime he lives in Calgary, so I haven't been there in a few years. But anytime I roll by, it's like there's just like 2 Corvettes, a Hummer, and like fuck something from the 30s.
Yeah,
and it's just I'm like, hey, what's going
The
on?
old mobster
Oh,
cars.
man, I stole this one off some old guy in northern Alberta for $6,000. Gonna flip it for 22.
So did you guys film it out there then?
Yeah. So that was
okay,
when we were on tour. That was actually when we were on tour with MOP, maybe? I think it was that tour.
Fire.
No, I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. Man, we did so many. The amount of times we drove from fucking Toronto to Vancouver and back is ridiculous.
Yeah?
And just, it's nuts.
I want to do it once, and everyone tells me you don't want to do it once. You don't even want to do it. Like, I want to
bro,
do it. It'd be better if I had like a thing like that where I'm doing shit along the way.
Yeah, you just gotta make those things.
That's it,
And I've
yeah.
taken the train from Toronto, took the train from Toronto to Vancouver, then from
With the glass
Vancouver
ceiling?
all the way to Halifax.
Holy
Yeah, it was nuts. It
Well,
was like 4 days and then like 7 days. But it was dope, man. I love it. I loved long
you
fucking
stop
boring
and
trips.
shit? Do you stop
Yeah,
and
so
shit?
you
Like,
stop. You can stop.
But do you get out for 15 minutes, have someone get it back on? Or
No,
are you
well,
like,
with Via Rail, you can get off, and then your ticket works for that line, so you can get off and then come back 24 hours
so
later.
you get,
and
what's
back.
it called? What's it called when you get on the bus? You get your
Transfer.
transfer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you have a transfer. Like, oh,
Yes,
that's fire.
so you can come back and stay for a day, come back as long as you get back on the 1710 whatever train. Then
So you
can
get off the
back on.
train, you fucking stay in Saskatchewan for
Yeah,
fucking
for a
2
night.
days or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, and you
yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
I imagine
I
there's
actually
some
did a
limit on
tour.
it.
I did a solo tour like that. So I had a show in Thunder Bay.
Solo tour. How would you do that though?
I just did a tragic tour.
Like, but when you say tragic tour,
I just did Philly Move songs, but it was
Yeah.
just
Okay.
me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because then the reason why I'm asking, because I'm like, wait, do you have You have something else that like I don't know, but
Well,
you got
I've-
solo shit or
No,
something,
no,
like,
no.
whatever.
I've like no, but I would just do, sometimes it would like not make sense. I was a fucking gypsy.
Yeah, yeah.
Johnny had
But
like
I
a
like
wife,
that.
and so
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, this guy wants us to go on tour. Johnny's like, I'm not going. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, just send me the flash drive with the thing on it. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And because some shows would be like, yeah, I can get you on 11 shows, but everyone pays $75.
Right.
And for me, being single, 28, I'm like, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I'll take
Yeah.
the train. I'll come out even. But it doesn't make sense to go with like Johnny and like we need to eat. We need a hotel room.
Right.
Yeah. If it's just you can get the fucking $1.89 cheeseburgers,
Yeah.
at McDonald's and shit.
Yeah, right.
Camp, sleep
rough
in
it.
a fucking
Yeah.
van somewhere. Like, yeah, it didn't matter.
Shit, I like that though. See, and that just says a lot. It's still the same thing I've been saying the whole time. It says a lot about your passion for
You
it,
had
your
the
drive for
dedication,
the whole
man.
thing, you know.
Yeah.
But even too, the thing you were saying was you were talking about the recruiting thing
Yeah.
with the cannabis, and how I was saying earlier that it's almost like how with the MP3 era, like you guys were like big then, and it was kind of hard to like where do we go, what do we do? I feel like with the cannabis thing you were talking about, it's like the opposite. It's like, oh wait, I'm gonna capitalize on this, like
Yeah. At the
just-
right time,
yeah,
finally.
just
Yeah,
as it's
yeah,
happening,
right.
like
Yeah.
you know,
I finally figured out how to get something early.
got him.
Yeah.
But
Shit.
on that note too, though, the cannabis thing. So you were talking about recreational cannabis in New York, and
Yeah.
like I pay attention a little bit here and there to like what goes on in the States, like at least cannabis wise, anyways. And the one thing that I didn't understand for the longest time is like I always used to be like, oh yeah, like it's legal in California, right? But like this is before they had a recreational thing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So then they're talking about this recreational thing, and then same with Colorado, New York, whatever, right? And I'm like, but what, you know? And I'm like, oh, like recreational, the same way as we can just walk in the store and
Yeah,
buy
exactly.
this shit.
You don't have to have a prescription.
Yeah. So when
Or a medical
but,
card.
But when did that come about? So and I guess there's two questions or maybe whatever. But is like so at that point when they started having these medical dispensaries, was it like decriminalized?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, in New York.
So if you
didn't-
had a little bag and they caught you, they just throw it on the ground and they take it from you.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, now it's New York. New York never really had a huge medical scene in the way that other places did.
Okay.
New York was like illegal, then like decriminalized for a little bit of time, and then fully recreationally legal.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
They didn't have this, like some states have this long, like 20-year history of medically legal.
Yeah.
So it's an established industry already.
Right.
The medical side, they have like legit PhD pharmacists working in dispensaries. It's like a
right.
fully well-oiled medical.
Yeah.
New York never really had that.
Right.
But like Connecticut, for instance, a lot of the New England states have this like very well-developed, fully medical side, which is completely different than the recreationally legal side. And so
Okay.
it's New York now is a fucking mess because now it's recreationally legal. So there's all these same shit that happened in Toronto or in Ottawa
Yeah.
before it was fully legal. Remember
All
there was
these
all
black
those
what?
Yeah.
all those black market shops,
Okay, all
like you know
right.
all those
Just
like
checking.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You'd
But
only
you
go
know,
in
you-
and pay
yeah,
cash.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
You know those ones, like
They
those-
get busted one day and they're up
exactly.
the next day
So
with a
that's-
different name.
New
like-
York's going through that right now, where there's like
Ah.
the legal dispensaries are getting their ass kicked by these. For every legal one, there's 10 illegal ones on the same block.
Right.
So the legal guys are paying their exorbitant rents, like 18 grand a month rent for the shop to have a legal dispensary.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fucking clusterfuck right
yeah,
now.
that's crazy.
Shit. Well,
Yeah.
even right now too, though. Like, so where I'm staying at, a couple blocks from me, there's a store. So, a couple blocks from me, there's a mushroom store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, like-
that's mushroom stores are back at that level now where
Yeah,
it used to be.
exactly.
But then
right.
down the street, I'm walking down the street a little further, and I see. So it's mushroom store. It's a dispensary. Then you go down a couple blocks, another dispensary. You go down a little further, and there's this thing. It's like the strip club of dispensaries. It's like neon signs flashing and stuff. It's like 24
yeah.
hours and like it's all this and like all whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so what it is it's a fucking 24-hour dispensary, but it's like the gray market, if you will.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Right.
But and then there's one on Rito too, but both of them are advertising this like native thing, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, your tax-free weed and all
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So they're probably writing some like native thing, right?
Yeah.
But then like the other and just sorry, that's my point. But just side note, one day I'm sitting there and I'm like, so it's like the middle of the night too, right? But I'm looking up to see where the mushroom store is, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know there's one nearby, but where is it? So I start looking and whatever, and I Google it. It goes 24-hour mushroom delivery. What the fuck? So I click on it, I look, it's that fucking weed store. So they have 24-hour
Oh,
weed and
yeah,
mushroom
yeah.
delivery.
Yeah.
And like, but I think
Crazy.
they're riding now, like, so it is kind of like that black market, gray market, whatever.
Yeah.
But then like, but they're also riding this native thing where they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, like we can do that, or it's,
Yeah,
it's like a
right.
loophole or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, this place delivers and sells weed and mushrooms like 24
24
hours,
hours.
like
Yeah,
right
like-
over here. Like that's
Yeah.
so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Bro, there's a spot in there's probably multiple, but there's one spot specifically. We were in New York again for a conference, and we were trying to just get some weed delivered to the hotel.
Yeah.
Same shit. And we found a place that looked fully legit, like it had a legit website, like something is Meds LLC, like it's
LLC.
claimed to have a real business,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is legit.
Yeah.
And then so you look down and there's like the menu, and then there's the number to call, and so you call the guy, and then he texts you back with the menu, and so it's like, oh, there's like the weed that we wanted,
Yeah.
but there's also mushrooms, and it's like ecstasy, coke, like
yeah, right.
everything, anything you can
Crazy.
think of, and I'm like, this bro's just out here, like,
Dealing.
yeah, like
So the
straight
drug
up,
dealer with a website.
yeah, bro,
That's
straight up.
crazy.
And it's like all I had to do was call the number, and he texted me back with telling me that he sells hard drugs. I'm like, there's just
Wow.
not enough cops, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck. But at the same time, how do you like?
Well, yeah,
They
what
got
are
a
they?
phone and some other name, and then at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like
It's
they're
not worth
meeting you at
anyone's
their
time.
house and shit, right?
No.
But yo, actually, so I thought what you were gonna say was like so there's stores and shit out west. So I went to Vancouver for a bunch of times, long time. Anyways, we went there and we heard about this mushroom store, right? And like at the same time too, like the people we're like stopping to see and hang out with, like they know where to get most shit, right?
Yeah.
But one of them was telling us like, oh, there's a mushroom store, whatever. I guess there's two of them. So we go to the one place, we pull up there. There's a bunch of us. We pull up, we go in, and like the funny thing is like these guys are all kind of like, I don't know what to do, so you just like lead the way. Like cool. So I walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys got mushrooms, whatever, this and that, and it's like a cafe. Like it's like you get coffee and shit.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, you got mushrooms, whatever. I hear this. They're like, yeah, well, here. And they start showing me the menu and stuff, whatever. And the lady goes, but like, I need like your like doctor note or like whatever, right? Like, really? She goes, yeah. Well, she's like, I can tell you this, and it's like a bottle of capsules, and it's like it's microdose capsules, right? So sure, if you take a fucking half a fucking bottle of capsules, you're gonna get high, right? And she's like, yeah, I can't tell you this, but if you have a doctor's note, I can give you whatever you want. Oh fuck, okay, cool. So we start looking around. Man, they're selling like peyote cactuses and like
Yeah.
all this shit. Like they have all this shit.
That's crazy.
But it's like a 4-year-old peyote cactus. So you got to buy it for fucking $300. You got to take it home and fucking take care of it for 5 years until it's finally ready to produce buds
Holy
or whatever,
fuck.
right? But anyways,
It's
we're
still
going
pretty
through-
cool.
No, it's true, yeah. But then they had a thing. It looked like, I remember like paint when we were kids in like school and shit. It looked like a fucking like a bottle of paint. And I pick it up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I look at it. LSD 25. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, hey, and I turned to the lady because I kept asking her stuff. But every time I asked her, she goes, it's not what you think. Like, whatever. So I'm like, yo, LSD 25. She goes, yes, it is. Yes. But it's not what you think. And she goes, it's microdose. I'm like, yeah, but I could just like
Just
drink it,
chug
right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, no. So it was like either 100 micrograms or 125 micrograms or whatever it is, which is like a fucking dose. You have a bottle like this that's a dose. Like, it's like, fuck. But anyway, short story long is I thought you were going to bring up those places because they have, whenever I left there, man, I left there with a cocoa leaf tea.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it, driving down the street. Like, well, I wasn't driving, but we're driving down the street. I'm drinking this shit, and they're all like, man, like, what is it? Like, what's going on? Yeah, whatever. And like, after a while, like, I never got like high or anything, but after a
Yeah.
while, I swear the tip of my tongue and my lips went numb and shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the
right,
fuck?
yeah.
And she even said, she's like, you're not going to get high. I'm like, but it's cool. I want to try it. They even have, you ever heard of Kratom?
Yeah.
They even have like Kratom and shit there too. I thought you were gonna bring those up. It's like, man, but then when we went to the actual mushroom store, it's like you walk in, it's like a weed dispenser. We got these mushrooms, we got candies, gummies,
right.
fucking drinks, all this shit, whatever. But it was like that store was like a specific like cafe. Like I said, they have fucking like what did I say? It was peyote and shit. Like,
Yeah.
crazy, man.
That's nuts.
But at the same time too, though, one time I was in Toronto, they had a similar thing like you're talking about, where it's like, oh yeah, like hit up this number. You're like, hey. And then they're like, I got
Yeah.
How much fucking
You're
heroin
like,
can I
yeah.
get? Like, oh, bro.
Yeah.
Literally just looking for a pre-roll.
You've reached the black market.
Yeah. Who do you need killed and by when? Whoa.
Okay, so and I know I'm all over the place, and I just keep bringing it back to stupid shit, but man, it's not stupid shit, but you get what I'm saying. So now you're in New York, right? So you guys moved to New York, whatever. This night you're talking about this like cannabis thing, whatever. But I also noticed, again, like I said, I've creeped you for a while. I've
My
been
man.
watching you. No, but But I noticed you. So you were doing this thing, building these salt caves and shit, right?
Yeah.
But, like you, at one point, you like flew to Calgary to do some shit, right?
Yeah.
So like you go to New York, you're doing this, whatever, and then like, how did you get that job? Like, was that a job out in New York that you applied for, or was that something that you already did?
Yeah, I mean, it's so when we first moved to New York, I was still doing my stonemasonry, which was like
That's yeah.
what I always fell back on when I was like not making money. And so when we moved to New York, my wife had the visa first, and then it took me like 6 months for my visa to kick in. So I had to work cash. So I worked masonry doing cash,
Right.
and met a guy there. Yeah, I mean, it's New York, man. Everybody works. New York is the biggest like outlaw city in the world. Everybody
construction.
Yeah, everybody works for cash. You can pay your rent in cash. You can do whatever the fuck you want in cash
Holy
in New York.
shit.
Yeah. If you go to Walgreens and offer to pay cash, they'll like knock 5% off your price. Like
Crazy.
it's the cash is king in New York.
Yeah,
yeah.
no
Literally, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, but that's crazy, yeah.
Cash is king.
Oh yeah, so then so I
masonry,
met a guy from that who is doing the salt caves, and so it's just like once every 3 or 4 months,
Arnold
6 months.
Schwarzenegger or Celine Dion calls up and is like,
Or-
I need
yeah,
a salt
it's-
cave in my basement. Can we actually pull up a salt cave?
Okay.
Yeah, just to see what they look like, just so everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Himalayan pink salt.
Yeah,
But that must cost a lot too. This whole fucking thing is built out of this shit, right?
Bro, it's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. They literally go to the Himalayas and like knock off. The Himalayas are made of salt, which I didn't know.
I
which
didn't
is
know that
interesting.
either.
Yeah,
The whole
And-
thing.
yeah. The Himalayan mountains are all made of this pink salt.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like rocks. It's like boulders.
So the earth is
Right,
flat.
right.
The earth is flat.
Holy
the earth is
shit.
flat. And
Anyway, sorry, man. Yeah.
Jesus is the firmament and everything else.
He's always been white. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
So I met a guy from there that does these, and he's like, yeah, every few months we have one. It's all over North America. So yeah, I've been to
That's
BC,
fucking cool, man.
Florida, LA, fucking Atlanta, Calgary, Louisiana.
Wow, nice.
So just in the last few years, every few months, one will come up.
Does it look like that shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
bro.
Yeah.
So is it like, does it heat up in some way? Like, is it sauna type shit?
No,
or
it's
just-
actually like very like cool. So they like blow
just
in.
chill.
It's like pseudo medicine, fucking fake science.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Bullshit.
they have those
It's more-
lamps with
yeah,
the light
right.
inside the salt,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's supposed to release some positive,
Some ions.
negative, or like
Exactly,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
But it's cool. Like we build it all. So all the walls are all made of these huge boulders, and we just smash with a hammer and build it. And we have to stick it just right because you can't use real mortar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because real mortar has water,
Right.
so it'll just disconnect.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's salt.
Right.
So we have to use this like special shit. And you have to cut them tight. It's
Okay.
fun to do, and it's just cool. It's like I'll go somewhere for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A new city I've never been. I only go if it's somewhere cool. You know. If
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm,
Right.
if he's like, hey, we're doing one in fucking Louisiana. I'm like, dope. Never been to Louisiana.
let's
go.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's sick.
But no, and at the same time too, like I mean, like the reason why I'm bringing that up on this, I guess, really is because like I thought that was fucking cool. I think I never even heard of that shit.
Yeah, but
And I see
I
you
hadn't
doing
either.
that.
When the guy asked me, he's like, hey, I do this cool thing. It's salt caves. And in my mind, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, it's pretty good money. This. I'm like, he's telling me the money. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. But I thought it was literally like going into caves to,
Right.
to mine salt.
Right.
And I was
yeah,
still
yeah,
willing
yeah.
to do it. I was like, you know what? That's pretty good
Yeah,
money. And that's
let's
it. That's
And then he got there, and you're like, okay, this isn't as bad.
So if you thought it was okay money to be going into salt caves,
Shit.
then like this is okay. Then you're like, oh,
Yeah,
if I'm
oh.
building these shits in people's houses, then that's okay.
It's
Then-
not like
Yeah.
blood diamonds.
Yeah.
We're okay over here. Yeah.
I was like, I didn't realize that there was, I light it
Let's
up.
do it.
I didn't realize that there was, I was like, oh, there's probably some like salt caves up in like Albany, New York or
Right,
something that
right.
I hadn't heard about.
Yeah. So wherever you build these, is it like residential or is it?
Some of it's residential, so
For
sometimes it'll
spas?
just be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it's just like in a strip mall in the fucking ritzy neighborhood of Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah. Okay.
And then sometimes like we did one on Long Island that was like a like 50,000 square foot mansion in Long Beach on Long Island.
Okay.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. No
Because, yeah,
doubt.
like I said, I had never heard of it until I saw you doing them and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard of the pink salt, but it was like people having it in their salt pickers and shit.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
lamps and stuff.
Yeah.
Read it,
But so when I
breathe it
saw you
in,
doing it,
soak
and then
up.
like that's still years ago still. But then like, just like in the last year, maybe 2 years, whatever, one of my buddies had a video where he's like, just him and his girl, and they're swimming in this pool, and it's like all like, it was all blue lit up. So then I hit him, I said, yo, what the fuck is that? I'm like, that's cool. And it was just him and her, right? And he was like, "Oh, it's like at the Nordique spa."
Yeah.
So I guess like downstairs they have this like salt pool thing.
Oh,
whatever, right?
sick.
Right.
But he happened to like just be there on a day where they got it to themselves, right? But point is that's the only time I've ever fucking heard of it or seen it anywhere else was at a fucking spa.
Yeah.
But
So-
I thought that was the coolest thing. So
Yeah, no, it is cool. It's just something fun to do, and like why not make extra money when you can? And like I
Absolutely.
like retired from masonry to do the cannabis thing, but I still like it. I still like love. That was my career for my whole from like 18 till forever. So like
Right.
I never stopped liking it. It was just
Yeah.
make more money not having to kill myself.
yeah.
I'll do
That's
that.
it, man, yeah.
Well, and that's I
It's a skill
understand
you
that
have,
so much
right?
because like
So
I
you
did
use it.
drywall for like 5-6 years, some shit, and like the thing is people go like especially when people are trying to like do some shit at their house, they go, "Hey, can you fucking drywall this?" or like, "Oh, whatever."
Right.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck, like, cool, yeah. Like, "Oh, I don't know how to do it." Or like, "Oh, it's too much." Or like, "Oh, I don't like lifting shit," or whatever. Like, fuck, whatever. It's 33% lighter now. But in case you're wondering, but then but to me, I'm like, again, it's like I like it.
Yeah,
The reason why I stopped doing it originally though is because like it's so hard on my body. Like
exactly.
I my back hurts. My fucking like my hands would be swollen and shit.
Especially
like,
if you're
whatever.
tall, like just doing any sort of trade. If you're like
Yeah.
a tall guy, you get your fucking ass kicked.
Yeah, man. And then the thing is, I even left drywall. I was like, okay, cool, let's do something else. Boom, I'm building houses with a friend of mine and his dad. I'm like,
Uh,
well, no, like that's even worse
sucks
than I
too.
wanted
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
Like, fuck, at least
This
drywall, I
also
know what I'm
sucks.
doing. Like, fuck.
yeah.
But I say that though to say the same thing. It's like, yo, like, I mean, not that I'm like about to jump into drywall, especially my back's been worse than it really is. But point is like I like it, right? So it's like, okay, cool. If I really fucking needed to make a few bucks,
Yeah,
or
if
something,
you're
like,
stuck-
fuck, I'll drywall your basement or like,
Dude,
oh, yeah,
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, it's good just to keep the skills sharp. That's
That's
another
true,
reason
man.
why I
True.
do it too. It's like
When you
When-
know how to do something, it's like why not
Yeah,
make money? from it,
exactly.
right?
particularly if you enjoy it too. Like
Yeah, that's it for sure, man.
Here we are. It's
For
called
sure.
Saturday. I think that's the company name. I think the company name is Saturday.
mhm.
It's a XL infused blunt, mango diesel,
okay.
Saturday night.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this thing's fucking potente, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fucking hits
Oh,
hard.
it says, I was like, what's the rest of it? It says
Wow.
samedi soir.
Oh,
or
perfect.
sour Saturday. I think. I don't know French.
Wow.
Well, you delivered it very confidently at first, so I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you did.
No, yeah, and I really shouldn't wrap myself out like that. One of my buddies said to me, he goes, here's the thing, man. He's like, it's all about confidence and conviction. He's like, if you can say something with more conviction and confidence than anyone in the room, like, then they'll believe it, right?
Right.
For sure.
And that's not why I did it. I just did it by accident.
Well,
But
if-
I
if-
shouldn't have said anything.
You're
'Cause
right,
you'd be like,
though,
yeah,
yeah,
oh,
man.
you speak
Yeah, I
French,
was totally
yeah,
like,
yeah.
uh-huh.
Fluent in
Yeah,
French,
yeah.
Wow. I know if you sound more confident than they are in you being wrong, then you win.
Yeah,
Like,
for
if,
sure.
if they're like hovering on the edge of maybe you're right and you're really confident, they're like, oh, of course.
If you say
Yeah.
it more confidently than they're listening,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no confidence
Makes them
in your
second
listening
guess
skills.
it. Yeah.
But however, oh yeah, I was gonna say though on the topic of languages, and I don't know French.
hmm
So I kind of do know the answer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like your name, we don't have to say it, but like your name is obviously like different.
Yeah.
Your original like first name, government name. What's your like background?
It's just an old Irish name. It's like an old, like super old pagan Irish last name.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys know what pagan is? Oh no,
Uh,
wait, sorry, never mind. I was thinking Dogan. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just an old ass name. It's like
Jinx.
I was
like,
gonna. Yeah.
like pre-Catholic old Irish last
Right,
name.
yeah,
Okay, so here's the thing is, okay, so I'm like super Irish Catholic. My full name is Scottish as fuck. I'm like the littlest bit Scottish. But the thing is what I swear either you told me or maybe I Googled it and got this answer.
Yeah.
But I have been under the impression that your first name is a Jewish name.
Really?
Man, I swear, but
So
like I said,
have you been thinking I'm Jewish the whole time?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Should
I've been
we-
watching
should-
him build these salt caves. I'm like, man, he knows something we don't know. Man.
This guy's building a bunker.
Yeah.
Hitler was right. No, I don't know. But no, I thought it was
Zuckerberg first and now me.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. But
Oof.
Steve B. Jobs, actually, I heard. But no, yeah. So, but the thing is like,
I'm good on that.
oh, yeah.
Is there a rumor that Steve Jobs gave blowjobs?
No. I swear to God, honestly, okay.
Stephen
Okay,
B. Jobs.
I have to. I don't even have to explain, but I will explain. So earlier today, a lot of the thing is okay. So me and you, the night that we met at the Bros thing,
Yeah.
you, like I said, one of us had said something about inside jokes with myself.
Yeah.
And either you said it and I responded with like, oh, I thought I was the only one, or vice versa, right? And so the thing is like, you know what callback is?
Yeah.
So like, you say a joke and then later on you bring it up again and
Yeah,
everyone laughs again, right? Oh, I remember that joke you made. I have callbacks in my own
Yeah,
life, like, you know what I mean? So like
too.
earlier, me and my brother texted back and forth, and like, so one of my buddy, and this further story now, like I always say short story long. So one of our buddies, we call him.
Wait, I've lost. Stick to the original plot because I've lost it now.
Yeah, we're talking about Steve B. Jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So just keep that in mind, and then we'll come back to it.
Stephen B. Jobs.
So yeah.
I love that name.
So I'm texting my brother earlier, and he's like, yeah. And so one of our buddies, his name's Shaggy. Actually, James from the Peer Love Foundation.
Yeah, shout out.
The outreach program. Shout out to him. But so we used to call him Shaggy back in the day, right? I just spelled it S-A-G-G or S-H-A-G-G-Y, but he spells it S-H-A-G capital E as like all one word, right?
Shaggy?
Yeah. And like, I never conformed to that, as he's always like Shaggy, right? And so like the English word. But the thing is today, my brother texted me, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a Shaggy. He's like, yeah, but he spelled it like the
Shaggy?
with the E, yeah. So then I typed back to him, and I said, hey, yeah, okay, cool, say hi to Shaggy, and I spelled it the same way he did, assuming my phone's gonna think something fucked up or whatever, right? So I press space. Boom. It even put the capital on the E and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? So I said to my brother, I'm like, yo, I think that it spelt it that way because you spelt it that way. My phone just picked up that, hey, you're saying the same thing he's saying. He goes, Steve B. Jobs. But I even thought the same thing. Is that his middle initial or like, what the fuck? So point is that's a callback for me where I'm like, yeah, Steve B. Jobs. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, I was a...
Something you weren't around for.
There was a joke. Yeah. None of you knew it. Yeah.
Stephen B. Jobs, though, has a nice roll to it.
Oh,
Did
for
you give
sure.
me this or I gave it to you?
I'm good on it, man.
I
I'm good.
gave it to you. Yeah.
I'm absolutely.
I think actually.
on another
I'm good on
planet.
it too.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay, so and the thing is too is like I mentioned earlier, like, oh, I'm all over the place, or whatever. Yeah, and I'm about to be like super all over the place right now.
That's
So-
all good, man.
It's
it's
actually
kinda
going.
going-
It's going well.
It's going.
Yeah.
It hurts pretty bad. Sorry, that reminded me of John Lajoie, which we'll talk about later. But anyways, now I lost my point. See how I do this thing? Okay, yeah. So I wanted to bring it back to music, right?
Okay.
And I wanted to bring it like back though.
Mhm.
Like, okay. What was the like first hip hop that influenced you?
The first,
Like artist, song, whatever.
the first album I remember really liking was the Wu-Tang Forever album with Triumph.
Yeah, you did. Triumph.
Dope.
Bro, that's the first Triumph is the first rap song I remember hearing because up until that time I was like, like Wu-Tang 36 Chambers was like, I was a little too young, but I still knew about it and thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But I was really like a rock kid. I liked like Offspring and Green Day.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
Triumph, dude, when Triumph dropped, I was like, yo, fuck all that other shit.
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay, I have to say one thing is you guys might not remember this, which is okay because I have trouble remembering stuff too.
Yeah.
But there was someone on our show. I almost want to say it was Tamal Garnier, but I don't think he has an older brother, so I think maybe it was somebody different. Regardless,
Yeah.
there was a gentleman on our show. This is not the first time someone brought up Triumph, and not just like, oh,
Yeah.
Triumph's a good song. It was like, that's the first song I remember, or that's
Right.
like the like this same exact conversation. So I'm like, I have to say that, and on top of it, they say, oh yeah. I said I know the name, but I don't know the song. And from that moment, I went like left, got the song, and like it comes on my playlist all the time now.
Yeah.
So when I hear it, I think to that moment. I'm like, yeah. Not that I didn't know the song. It's just when you say Triumph, I go, I'm not sure. I know Wu-Tang really well.
Yeah.
But like I don't know the names and
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
right? So then I heard it, right? So the thing is, you're saying this, I'm like, man, the fact that you pointed out Triumph specifically, I'm like, that's crazy because that's actually someone's same thing, said
Yeah.
the same shit.
You know, I think probably maybe because from that era, I think that was like the first, like, cool actual hip hop. That was like the reason I saw it is because it was on like Much Music
Right.
with like Celine Dion and shit.
Yeah,
Triumph was
right.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
if
first
you're
one.
seeing Celine Dion on Much Music, that goes back.
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that song's from like what? Triumph's from like what 98 or something.
Oh shit! Celine
Earlier,
Dion was
maybe.
still on Much Music then.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah.
would have been.
Yeah.
Yo,
Well, maybe
Titanic
that's-
probably came out 97.
Yeah. Celine Dion was popping up.
Yeah.
But I just mean that was the
Yeah.
first one as a young guy when it was on the top.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, it was the first like real hip hop that was in like the top 5.
Yeah.
Like the pop song,
yeah.
and it was like Triumph.
See, my
Right.
first fucking music video, or like, both music video and rap music video that I remember like vividly was California Love.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The fucking, I even remember the video and shit. Whatever, this the guy comes out and he's like,
Yeah.
a bunch of shit,
Yeah.
whatever, right? He's like the tribe leader or some shit.
This will like show our age gap.
Yeah,
the
it's true,
the
though,
first
like-
for me would probably be Without Me, and
That's a fucking sick video too.
like
very
I actually hate
These are all, we
hate
should be
to
making
say
a
this.
mixtape of all these songs.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but when you guys like talk of Triumph, I'm thinking of fucking the puppet that Eminem.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Wu-Tang was something that I did not get onto later in my life. I was like Pac and Biggie, but I was like Eminem, Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
Nas, and
But that's
just like
even, like,
miss the Wu-Tang thing, right?
Yeah.
And
you would have picked up on Dre and Snoop and shit like that
right,
when they like came back type shit, right?
right.
Because there was like, you know,
Yeah,
the
there was
early
like
90s and
92
shit.
Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, and then it's
But
like,
I was
back
fucking
like this, like-
right, and 2001, right, or two, yeah.
Bro,
So,
2000, Chronic 2001 is probably the best.
Yeah,
I think it's the best rap album of all time.
I would have been 9 years old when that shit.
And
dropped.
it reaches,
So, like,
and it reaches
the-
Bro, I was
Yeah.
like fingering bitches and smoking
Yeah,
dope
yeah,
joints.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, the
I stole that CD from Walmart and then traded it to my buddy for a fucking big fat bag of homegrown
Yeah.
with a knife that I also.
So, so the next thing I'm gonna ask.
I was with you to the knife, and then it got a little weird.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah,
still
yeah.
pretty dope.
No, it was
So
cool.
the
It was
next-
actually for gutting deer this night.
The next thing about Wu-Tang that I'm gonna ask is, there's an album that has not been released.
There's one.
Isn't it called 36 Chambers? If
No.
I'm
No,
not
36
mistaken.
Chambers was the first one.
No,
Right.
You're thinking of. I think what you're thinking of is the
Shaolin
no,
Night?
Maybe.
Oh, the one that
I don't
they
even know
sold
what
to
it's
that
called.
guy?
Yeah,
guy
the
with AIDS,
what's his
Yeah,
name?
the like evil.
Not Zuckerberg.
The like
uh,
James
The
Bond
Skrelly
villain.
guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Pharmacy
Mark-
guy.
Mark
Skrelly.
Skrelly,
Mark
or-
Skrelly, yeah.
yeah.
But the thing is doesn't that guy own the fucking cure for AIDS or like
Or something.
insulin or something?
Yeah.
And he raised the
jacked
price
up
on
the
it like crazy.
Yeah.
And then he kept this fucking album. Then the fucking FBI comes, takes the album. Then the fucking FBI auction the album off to somebody, and fucking they bought it for some fucking $1 million, and now it's just there.
And
Right.
But it's
no
like
one's-
no one's fucking heard it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
didn't they say they were gonna put it out though?
Yeah, they did.
So just something happened
When?
just recently
When?
about it. Yeah,
I heard a song that everyone was like, "It's from that album," but I don't know.
So is it like the sequel to 36 Chambers?
I don't
Because
know.
I keep hearing like it's
No,
titled.
maybe
that's
it's
what
called.
the title of
maybe
it.
it's called like 36 Chambers 2 or
Maybe
something.
something.
but
I
it's
don't
like
know,
37
man.
Chambers.
But I guess
Yeah.
technically, if you release an album and then you put out another album, is it not technically the sequel or it's the successor?
Would be. Well,
It's
Yeah.
the successor. maybe. I
Eminem
don't
did
know.
that, right? He did Marshall Mathers LP 2,
Yeah,
right?
why not? You can
Call
do
it the
that.
sequel or
But
whatever.
on
Yeah.
another note too, though, is like you were
And
talking about
continued
being
on
more like
songs
rock
from
and like
the
this and that,
original.
whatever. And like the one thing is like I feel like you did tell me that when we hung out before. I got a very big impression that like we're very similar in like how we grew up in that sense, like skater, where it's like punk rap as well, you know. So like I'd stumble through my brother's room. Shout out my brother Tyler, gang. You already know what it is. Birthday coming soon. But I would stumble through his room, right? And like, you know, he's gone, right? No one's in the house. I'm allowed in his room now.
Yeah.
yeah. The law changes when the police aren't around.
Yeah.
But so then I go in, you know, and I'm talking like there usually wasn't a uniform place or like a specific, you know. Oh, what's this one? Like, oh, Sublime, yeah, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you print
right.
that sun in my face, in my mind, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, oh,
right.
like Wu-Tang, like what's this? Like, oh, there's a bunch of black people. Like, oh yeah, cool, you know. take that in, fucking, listen to that, whatever,
Yeah.
right? But then it also, one day I walked through, I'm like, oh, I like Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm like, oh, like Green Day, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like this, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. So then I like was the same where I'm like, yeah, like even like I was like 18, 19, 20, I was in a fucking like punk metal band kind of thing, playing drums and shit.
Yeah.
But then it's like I also like really like I would show up to shows wearing like basketball jersey and basketball shorts and shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, like I just came from listening to fucking, Joel Santana and I'm here like playing drums for this punk rock band, So I feel like we're the same in that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Name drop.
Yeah.
Shit. But yeah, actually the Diplomats were fucking sick.
Dude,
Actually,
they were, man. Underrated, I think.
Actually, and this is a callback to the Raekwon conversation. There wasn't much of a conversation, but we both mentioned Raekwon. And and it really doesn't relate, except you'll see. So I met this guy. We were playing football together. He was like, so I'm from like a really, really small town. Like there's like 9,000 people, right? And if you drive like 4 minutes from my house, like 3 minutes and 10 seconds from my house, you're like in the bush. And like I live in town, like like if I walk 4 minutes the other way, I'm at like main street, out here. Oh yeah, so this guy moved from. The funny thing is, he moved from Munster, but to us, he was like the city kid, right?
Yeah.
But he shows up, man. When I went to this guy's house, man, one time, shout out my homie Stecky, by the way, gang.
Yeah.
So this guy, I show up.
He moved from Munster and he was the city kid.
Yeah, but I know, but listen. So like
Munster Hamlet.
Yeah. But you have to understand, okay? Listen,
Yeah.
okay?
I guess like if you're
Hamlet
out, because that's like pretty much in the city.
But to us,
Outside the city.
no one was like, hey, this is like a picture of where he lives,
Yeah, it's true.
So we're like, oh yeah, he's from there.
Right.
So, but and what I'm about to tell you explains more too, right? So like, this is like, I'm talking like people show up in jacked up trucks and like skidoos in the winter and shit to high school and stuff, right?
Yeah.
This guy shows up, like when I went to his house one time, he opens up the closet and he has like, hardwood classics, like it's a basketball
NBA
thing, whatever,
jerseys
like
and
NBA
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
So he has like every fucking color. It's all the fucking like biggest fucking players.
Right.
He's got the shirt, the jersey, the shorts. He's got the do-rag and the hat and everything that matches.
Earrings.
Yeah.
This guy
Rings.
shows up. This guy shows up to high school where these people are like farmers and shit, and looks like Joel Santana, right? So we end up
crazy.
making friends. We're on the football team together, whatever, yeah. And so we smoking some weed, whatever, yeah. And his mom drove me home,
Yeah.
And so anyways, but my point is so he was like super like into this like newer like Diplomats, T.I., Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy, like that was all shit like at that time, right? So because this would be like 2005, maybe some shit.
Yeah.
So now we go on tour, we're smoking some weed in his car, he's playing all his CDs, like whatever, it's not my car, you play whatever you want, whatever. So then I'm like, fucking, he'd be like, what are you listening to? I'm like, oh, Wu-Tang this, yeah. So like I get in the car, I got like Mobb Deep and like like the whatever Raekwon album was like recent at the time, whatever, fucking a bunch of shit, whatever. And he's like, I kept being like, let me play some shit. Okay, yeah, I put Raekwon in. I don't know, man, like probably less than a minute of the like first song or like whatever. He's just like, boop, pulls the CD out. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Puts his shit back in. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
No
But
way.
then after a while, I'd get in the car, go, put on that guy with the crazy voice, the whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, you mean Lil Wayne? Yeah, that guy, So I got right into it. So my point
Yeah.
is he put me onto all this shit. So when we're talking
Yeah.
about Joel Santana, I'm like, yo, I'm this guy. But I was so like dead set. I'm like I'm an old head.
Well,
where
like,
I'm like,
East Coast only.
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's this, it's this. And like, well,
Yeah.
they're East Coast too. They're New York, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that it's like, I'm boom bap till I die, right? And it's like, no, these guys aren't doing the same shit, right? And I'm like, I don't like the new shit. But he was the one that actually made me actually like, all right, it's pretty good. Like, what's that one guy with the he's like, that's Young Jeezy, whatever.
Yeah.
So he put me on all that shit, and it was like I said, the reason why Raekwon it matters is because like I put on a Raekwon album and I just remember him going,
Yeah.
Not
right.
interested.
yeah. I'm like, oh,
Shit.
fuck,
Damn.
man. But other than that though, because even now, like we had a guy. 1 second, it's gonna come to me. Shout out KG613 at Day One's Promotions. There we go. I did it, man. Shit, we got the sweater match. But
Yeah.
but I posted something or I shared something, whatever. We got talking, whatever. And and he was hating on like this new sound. like more so like this like mumble rap shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I say, yo, I get it, I hate it, but the only reason I give any new music a chance and like whatever is because like there was this guy in my life at one point put me onto something, and now I wouldn't have had that if I didn't actually like accept it, you know.
Yeah.
So I have this. So then like a little while later, this guy hits me up and goes, "You're right, man." He's like,
Yeah.
he even said, he goes, the thing that we were talking about, he goes, I don't like that, but he's like, I also found this, sends me a link, like, oh, you know, like whatever, right? So you gotta like,
He went home and worked on himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
And just think about like I'm old enough now that I've seen like 10 generations of that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it was like, oh, you can't like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's too new school. That was like 2003.
yeah.
Now I've seen like 10 more of those.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you can't like this anymore. You can't like that. You can't. Bro, you just have to like what you like, man.
yeah.
I don't actively go out and seek new shit out anymore like I used to.
yeah.
Yeah. Me
But
too.
I can, if I hear something and it's dope, I'm not gonna ever say, oh, this isn't like how I would do it.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
I can't like this.
Yeah.
yeah. Which
It's like-
takes away from that old man persona you were playing earlier.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking, but no, exactly, because like, and like I said, I opened his mind to that too, and it's like I get it too. Like it's like a song came on, I used I think it's called like Smart Shuffle or some shit like that
Yeah.
on Spotify. So I go to my like
Right.
songs, I play a song. Okay, it plays Polo G, and then it plays fucking you guys, and then the next song is a song I don't have, right?
Yeah. It's like
what the
what
fuck?
they
I'm like, what's
recommend.
21 Savage doing on my thing? I'm like, okay, it's associated to music I listen to.
Oh, so like
But-
every 3 it gives you one.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's
That-
3 specifically,
yeah.
but every once in a while I'll give you one.
You'll
That's just
sprinkle
like,
one
hey,
in?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the
I didn't know it did
shuffle
that,
is,
man.
Yeah.
So I hit this song where I'm like, what is this anyways? Yeah, and I look at it because it's like, it sounds like pretty good at the start. So then I like look at it and it's like, I think it was like Mustard, like DJ Mustard.
Yeah.
So like, I like the beat, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I look at it, I'm like, it's 21 Savage. I'm like, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't traditionally
You know?
like this, but let me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, he comes on and go, nope. Open it back up, change the song. Because 21 Savage, it's like, there's a song where he's on with Drake. Oh, fuck. You know what? You don't sound so fucking dumb there. You know? And then it's like, but then you listen to a whole song and you go, oh, fuck, this guy, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
how is he making millions
I
of
find
dollars?
he does like the same like ad libs all the time. It's just like 21,
Oh,
21.
dude.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
god, oh
Bro,
god.
yeah.
21,
once
21.
once you pick up on somebody's like repetitive ad lib, I can't listen to the song
It's-
anymore.
yeah,
Oh,
it's-
man.
It wrecks
for
it.
sure.
It's just cringe. I'm like, well, you suck now.
Yeah.
You suck forever. To me, you suck forever. There's
Oh,
everyone,
shit.
there's all those
It's,
those that style of new school rapper. They have like 4 distinct ad libs that they do, and once you hear them run through the cycle 5 times in a song, it's like, oh.
Right.
it's like Young Thug, like, not that I really fucked with him, like,
Young Thug had some fucking. He had some songs.
he's, and yeah, and he's pretty
And
good. I like him
he
more
was
as a
cool. He
feature.
was more he was like unique at least, and like, yeah, it was interesting at least.
I like him more as a feature, but I saw a
for
thing one
sure.
day-
That's a great point.
I saw a thing one day where it's like just them recording where he's at the microphone, so you don't hear the music, right? And he's just doing ad libs. And I'm like, really? Like, no. I'm like, they must be like fucking around. Then like I hear songs from him and I go, no. It's like that same shit where I go, no, he's just doing the same. Like he just does these sounds. I'm like, all right, I get it, but like it sounded good on that song. But,
Yeah.
like, I have to keep
You don't have to do it
like,
again.
Yeah. You're beating a dead horse at this point, you know. But also too, at the same time too, I find ad libs are super fucking important, man. Like I sit watch my buddy record and like then he'll put, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, you're doing too much. It sounds good, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, this fucking thing.
I know, bro. We never do them. It's like
Yeah, but
I don't. But like, and when I hear it done well, I'm like, fuck. Now I feel like everything I do is missing it. Then you hear it done poorly, and it's like, okay, I'm glad I didn't try.
But I also feel like, but I don't know. But I also feel like that's kind of the style too, though, that you guys like it's more raw, if you will. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
it's not
guess.
about like.
It just makes
That
me
type
feel
of shit.
super awkward if I can be vulnerable right now, being in this
What?
booth and someone being like, okay, do some
Yeah, you're
do
like,
some stuff over your own song, and you're just like, yo,
yeah,
you heard that right?
Yeah.
It's just like how like I'm not
Yo,
comfortable with it.
so I've recorded a few songs, and like I actually literally had times where like he'd be like, "Oh, you want to do some ad libs?" I'm like, "You just give me a sec, I'll write them down."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do I? What do I fucking
Isn't that
do, man?
isn't that what ad lib is? Like, you literally broke the definition of ad lib.
Yeah.
Let me just plan this out quick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because also sometimes it's like, hey, you say the last word or some shit, right? But then other times you just make a noise, or you're like, or you
Yeah,
agree with what you said, or like
yeah.
whatever. So it's like, let me just figure out how I'm gonna go about this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, and sometimes it's like sometimes it's just you can just naturally repeat the word or something, and that's cool. But yeah, just to throw in a bunch of like, yeah, this is hella awkward to do in the studio, man.
So shit.
Waste of money too.
Another thing too is so like obviously and shout out to Johnny Rockwell. But so another thing is like, so obviously he makes a lot of beats. He's doing this like whatever. I'm pretty sure he plays some instruments and shit.
Yeah.
Do you play any instruments on this shit?
No,
at
I mean
all?
just
No,
like
you're
just like if there's like a tambourine thing,
Yeah,
Johnny's
yeah.
like, hey, come on in, you can
Right.
the tambourine.
Can you get on the theremin?
yeah, oh yeah. I smashed the theremin.
Yeah.
Fuck, actually, so my buddy, the reason why I actually that's on my mind is my buddy. Shout out Aspects, by the way. You know Snack the Ripper?
Yeah.
So this guy plays guitar for Snack the Ripper.
Yeah, I
And,
know Aspects.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so
He's a
the
dope
other,
guy, man.
the other
He's
day he
super
posted a
dope.
video
Yeah,
and he's playing the theremin
sure.
with his belt.
Yeah.
So he's like humping towards the theremin, and it's like, woo, and he's like making all these fucking like. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
But I sent it to my brother. He goes, "That's a fucking thing." I don't even know if I'm saying it right or how it's spelled, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
No, I don't play any instruments.
No.
Just so Johnny will like, I don't know, when we're making a song, he'll have an idea, and then he'll like get the basics down, kind of like what he thinks the melody's gonna be on this and what he thinks that's gonna be, and then I'll just kind of start writing with like that. Like at least I know the tempo and I have
Right.
the
Yeah.
general direction, and then he'll just tinker with the beat. And sometimes by the time it gets to the end, it's like at the beginning it was like it sounded just like a little piano melody and drums. And it gets to the end and it's like wild strings and it doesn't sound, but it still all works because I was like writing it while he was doing it.
All of a
and
sudden,
like,
it's like,
right.
fucks with
yeah, bro,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
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 But see, and like, so like, I guess also too, I was gonna kind of, and I guess know the answer. I was gonna say, is that not like beneficial too to have like, boom, I got the producer, but he's got the fucking guitar and the drums or the fucking this. Oh, we want a certain piano sound, like whatever.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, dude. He just does it.
Of
Like
course.
we don't need to sample anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
He just makes like he'll just make a piano thing, sample himself,
Yeah.
make that sound like a grimy like 50s soul sample,
Yeah.
and now we just have a sampled beat. That's
Yeah.
just his shit.
And then he
So-
does the fucking like he's like hooks and shit too. Like
Yeah,
he's
dude,
so
bro.
versatile.
Yeah,
at that
he's
shit where it's like-
he's the one that has all the real talent. I just write.
No,
I
no.
have a better personality.
No. You can't, yeah, don't give him that much credit. It really brings it together,
That's,
but man,
it's
you
humble
know,
as fuck. Yeah, he does all the work. I
you're
just
you're the one
talk
that
to people.
everybody listens to, though, right? The words and everything.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It
Yeah,
depends.
man.
Some people connect with the music. Some people connect with the words. You know.
Right.
Well, and also too, even like so how this relates, and I'm glad that we mentioned this already because this is something I want to say too. Is like, so on the topic of like, I grew up on hip hop, but I grew up on like fucking grunge and punk and like all this other shit as well. Like, even like country, because I'm from the country. I grew up on all this other shit as well. So the one thing I really liked about about you guys,
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
is that
Not
I
past
meant, like,
tense.
always
not
have
past
like,
tense.
but is
I
that
wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah.
Now I'm offended.
but
Yeah.
shit, I fucked myself there. But is that right? Is where it's like, there is that like, there's all of those influences shown very prominently
Yeah, I
together.
think so.
Like even there's a song, and the worst part is I was like, okay, every time I hear it, I go, okay, remember that's the name of the song. So whenever you say it, but there's a song on the new album, and I've said to a few people, I'm like, doesn't it remind you of Bloodhound Gang? And it's like,
Right.
I have to remind them, like, yeah, I'm not saying like his voice sounds like him or that any of this, whatever. It's just that.
It was
like
the
the vibe.
instrumental.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
just
was
the vibe. It's like
yeah.
a fucking like this grungy guitar,
Yeah, I
and it's
forget-
kind of like a wee woo like fucking sound in it,
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's just it gives me that vibe, and I'm like, man, but that's the thing is that like I'm seeing their like influences,
exactly.
and like we're on the same
Yeah, that's
time
it.
frame, I
Yeah.
believe, or the same
Yeah.
like era, right? So I'm like, I'm seeing that same influence, and like I like that, and this album too. Well, I guess like all your albums, but is like on this album, right? It's like goes through all of those things, right?
Yeah.
So it shows every little bit of everything, all that versatility, right? Like I fucking love that.
Dope.
I
Thanks. I'm glad you picked up on that. That's the kind of shit that like we think about, and we're like,
Right.
we're doing this just for us. No one else is gonna think this.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, this
And
guy's
it's, so it's
thinking
nice,
it,
like
yeah.
the one out of every 8,000 people that
But
Yeah,
but on that
that's
same topic too. This is the only other question I had written down.
awesome.
But no, on that same topic too, though, is like I noticed your videos are very like, and I know that I don't want to ruin it, but he has a question about one of your videos.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's like,
and,
he's on it tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
but
on it.
but I noticed your videos are like, okay, so some of them are like kind of cinematic, right? But then even the ones that aren't cinematic are very like there's a artful eye to it. You know what I mean? Like it's artistic or whatever, right? And like so. And on the top of on that too as well is like your music as well is so versatile and has all this wide range. So I mean, like, is that something that you guys wanted to like represent? Is like, hey, we're fucking like we have this artistic like Philly Moves is this artistic thing, or is that just something that I have grasped from something you just did inadvertently?
Wow,
A
what a
great way to
question.
put that together.
Yeah, bro.
When I ended that, I was like,
Good,
wow.
man. Yeah,
I
yeah.
pictured this going way worse in my head.
If you had asked me, do you think I'll be able to get this question out? I would have said absolutely not.
Yeah,
But you did.
Yeah, you did, man.
Honestly, I just think we don't think about it.
Yeah.
We just make that, and like, I don't know, we just to our detriment maybe sometimes. We just made the shit that we liked the most.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's my favorite music is my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like straight up,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
listen to my shit over anything else on the planet.
That's
And
that's
that's
what
we
you
do.
want though, too, though.
Yeah, but that's what we do, and so it's
Yeah.
like when we make a shit that we think is the dopest, and it's like if other people think it's dope, perfect, and if a
Yeah.
lot of people do, cool, but if 6 people do, that's still fucking dope.
Yeah, for
I also
sure,
want
man.
to point out how perfectly timed that was.
Yeah,
Because you were discussing about how you were like, hey, you know what? I'm glad you noticed that because that's something we do and think no one's going to notice. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I noticed this question that I had left here.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
No, so that's just what you guys are. That's just how you
Yeah.
guys are from the background. And at the same time, too, on the artistic note, I believe I have a memory from meeting you guys. Did one of you guys have some kind of schooling in some kind of art or music?
So Johnny went to
It's coming.
SAE.
Yeah.
SAE in Atlanta, which is like a
Oh,
that's where like
shit.
all the big producers have gone to SAE. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
Okay.
Jermaine Dupri rolls through there.
Metro Boomin and shit.
Yeah,
No, I
exactly.
don't know, but
It's-
yeah,
I
it's,
don't know. Maybe
that's
like,
where he's from.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
is from. Yeah.
It's like the like downtown Atlanta School of Audio Engineering. So like everybody rolls through there. So Johnny went and got his like whatever it is associate's degree of audio engineering there.
Okay.
We recorded one of
nice.
our albums there. I went down there and stayed for a couple weeks. It was
Okay,
dope.
so that was actually my next question is, and I believe that like you guys did tell me this, but there's that one video where you guys are like in that big studio and like
Yeah,
whatever. Is that where it's
exactly.
at? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
where
Yeah.
bro, that was so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like we were that was our second album. We were absolute nobodies. And
Yeah.
we're just like
Right.
in the studio. It's like, oh, Ludacris was here
Yeah, right.
4 hours ago.
Right.
Yeah, holy
Yeah.
shit. But that's another thing too. And I meant to ask this earlier too. Is you're talking about fucking touring with like MOP and like this and that whatever. Like
Dude, that was just like the
Hey.
dopest. Like I know MOP's not Jay-Z or anything, but
no,
like,
but
bro, growing
That's
up,
still, man.
Annie Up, MOP was my fucking
yeah.
shit.
But
Like, I recorded that on VHS off of BET
Yeah.
just so I could watch the video over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
over. Yeah.
over and over. Just that song. I'm just like I would play it for hours.
Yeah. Fucking
But
right.
like, I guess two things is like it's a 2-part question. I guess is like one thing I was wondering earlier when you're talking about it is like shit like that touring with these people is like, A, did you get to meet them? But the other thing is like, what was the feeling like being like, man, like the steps that we made has put me sitting in this room with this person.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I wish I had stopped and smelled the roses more at the time because
Yeah.
you're just so focused on like the next hustle, the next move. You
right.
can't even enjoy your like. It's like the thing that happened right now that's so dope. It's something that was like a year, 6 months to a year in the making of like fucking wheeling and dealing and
Right.
Yeah.
going to this event and meeting this person and shaking this hand
Yeah.
and doing this. So it's like by the time it happens, you're already so fucking over it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, cool, it's here, it happened. That's just like a notch on my victory belt.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a real like. I wish I had stopped and enjoyed those things more at the
Right.
time.
Yeah,
That
that's
shit was just nonstop. Like, what you're and at the time that this cool thing happens, you're already thinking about the like Factor Grant app that's due in fucking 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You're
That's kinda
so
like the
far
same-
into your journey, right? On
Yeah.
to the next thing. You're thinking of the show, but you're already working on
Yeah.
tomorrow. I got to be here
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
this
Yeah,
shit, right?
see, that's kind of like the same as I was saying earlier, but like, oh, you're an adult, whatever. Like in my
Yeah,
mind, my mind,
exactly.
the fucking summer is over because I have all this shit planned
Yeah,
ahead, right? But
yeah.
I'm thinking about this, so it's like you've been planning this for fucking 6 months. You get through, like, I just want to get it over with. Like,
Yeah.
tomorrow,
yeah,
They
right.
ask you something or whatever. Oh, you want? Yeah. Oh, fuck care, man. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like, shit. We just had to get in the car and drive to the next
Yeah.
place. Like shit. So I mean, this is probably the part where we ask you to, you know. place to-
Actually,
what,
I do have one question.
Wait, can
Okay,
it's-
I
So
gotta take
the
a-
your latest
Okay.
music video,
Oh yes.
how many fucking
I'm gonna go do it.
pictures
Oh,
did you
bro.
guys take?
I don't know, man. It was
Yeah.
like, bro, that was just my shout out Dan Jardine, Boom Shoal Enterprises. He's like an incredible video maker. He lives in Halifax.
Yeah.
He's done a bunch of our music videos. He just hit me up on Instagram. He's like, bro, I'm gonna be in New York in like a month. You want to do a video?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, man, nobody knows yet, but Johnny and I are about to put out a new album. Yeah, let's do it. So we sent him. He's like, send me the whole album.
Right.
And so we sent him the whole album, and he picked the song.
Pick the song.
And,
yeah.
he was like, I got this crazy idea with like stop
Okay.
motion.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that sounds fun.
Wild,
Bro, it was like 6 hours of us.
yeah,
Like, literally, I
going
didn't.
down the street.
Yeah, I didn't
around
stop.
a tree
Yeah,
a couple times. Yeah.
A couple times, bro.
Yeah,
One of those around the trees was like
You did it like 3,200
3,200 pictures or
yeah.
something. Like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
it was every step is like thousands of
Yeah.
pictures.
It took me like halfway through the video, and I'm like, wait, man, the amount of pictures
Yeah,
these
it
guys
was-
took.
dude, it
just
was-
to
it was
bring
a
this
tough
together.
day.
Yeah, that's
We just literally didn't stop moving. Like, it was like,
yeah. You like
Give me space.
tell yourself to stay in a certain stance? Did you like
Give me space.
focus on trying to keep the same
yeah,
stance
yes,
every
yeah,
time?
I had to, man.
That would be
It was
the
like,
hardest
dude, it
part.
was. You can see how many times I fucked
Yeah.
up. Because if your arm's even slightly or your foot,
Right.
it was so hard. He's like, no, we're gonna do that again. So doing it again means another like 2,000 steps.
Yeah,
2,000 pictures.
Right. As the viewer though, like
And we didn't even,
it
yeah.
looked good, you know?
Yeah, man. The guy's a fucking genius. He's so talented.
Swear it will last, swear there's ever through
Yeah,
strap.
so sick.
Won't ever swear at my moms if it's true.
And he, man, dude, is
Swear when I'm wrong, and I'm swearing it's
all
true.
it
So
works perfectly
selling
with the
me.
song,
It
right?
does, man.
Cause
It's
you
not
ain't paying attention to me.
overhyped.
Yeah.
It's like
I ain't the best, most
melancholy.
Yeah.
Right in
definitely.
between.
Don't got no time to pick your mind
Like,
unless you
I
better
didn't
than
know what he
me.
was planning. He's like, got this.
Give me
And this
space.
part too, it's like what do you call it?
Kaleidoscope?
Yeah, kaleidoscope.
Give me space.
See that on my
I keep
face? My face is
911 on
cut?
speed
Yeah,
dial.
yeah, right.
Until
So
the
at
truth
the
comes
end,
out in the meanwhile.
I'm like,
I can pick up the phone, hang up, then redial.
Yeah.
So I actually
$1
had to
grand, but a cheap smile.
Yeah,
Cheap
I had to
shirt
do that
underneath
so
the
many
cheap
times to
rosary.
make it work that I
People that
actually
need to
Yeah,
keep close to me.
Okay.
Telling me what I'm supposed to be.
No, that's
I lead globally, fuck it, I sleep locally. Just another mean cat with his teeth black. Keep the cards close, it's 3 jacks and 2 aces, 2 faces. Turncoats and
It's
move
like,
to new
like
places.
probably a 4-block
The
radius.
sickness, the
Yeah.
sadness,
Then we went up
the
into
wickedness,
this
madness,
path.
the
Right.
pressure, the passion. I just wish I could have it, but no. Nice things is frightening. Spark the light, I light the lightning. Yeah.
you know, it's super dope, though, for sure.
And it's just a testament, like, you don't need like a crazy budget and
No.
like, he just like ideated this out of his brain and made it happen.
I keep 911 on speed dial.
Yeah, this part.
Yeah,
I do this so many times that it actually
especially
cut
with
my
like
face.
the part of the song it's at, with
Yeah.
like the woo, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like the deep
The
voice,
sickness,
yeah.
sadness, the wickedness, madness, pressure, the passion. I just wish I could have it, but no.
Nice things frightening.
Yeah, see the cut?
Like lightning.
Fucking dummy. See, I think your face is being kind of like, bro, we're like 98% done the video. I'm not gonna stop now.
Yeah. Oh man, that's sick.
Oh shit! Shout
well,
actually, you know what? Okay, I have to say 2 things. Okay, in the bottom corner was Ilya Rose, Aspect's daughter.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was gonna say, yo, shout out her. But the other thing is I had a fucking story to say, and now it's better. So,
Wait, am I allowed to take a pee break?
Yeah.
yo, for sure,
I
yeah,
really
you know
have
where
to
it's
pee.
at. You know
No
where it's at.
doubt.
No.
Okay, as soon as you get to the top of these stairs right here, it's basically right across, right beside the kitchen.
Okay, I've been holding it for like hours. first. I thought it was like, fuck, I can't interrupt the live broadcast.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do, man.
I know how. It
I
feels.
realized when I was upstairs taking a piss that I was like, you know what, we must be going for a while if I'm up here taking a piss.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm like, man, I'm taking my second piss, and these guys haven't went yet, and I was like, oh my god.
We're at 2 hours.
Yeah?
Holy
No way.
Holy
2 hours.
fuck, man.
Yeah, it's already 10:20.
Before I went upstairs, he was saying something, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's getting on, whatever. Or I guess it was whenever I was trying to do the freestyle or yada yada before I went upstairs. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's probably like fucking like hour 25, hour and a half. Like we should probably, you know.
Yeah.
You're saying it's 2 hours, but just keep reminding me of the song Queens.
Yeah.
And the thing is I went upstairs. I'll tell the story when he comes. I'm gonna tell it again anyways.
Yeah.
But remind me of the song Queens.
Yeah,
And
for
here-
sure.
But you know how like have you ever heard like tie a string around your finger to remember something?
Yeah.
You know, remember?
I've never heard that.
No.
No.
So whenever I was
So when you see it, you remember
you
why
go,
you
"Oh, yeah, I
told
tied
yourself
it there,
why
yeah."
you put it there.
so
Yeah.
I thought of this while I was taking a piss, and I took this toilet paper off of the toilet paper roll. I was like, yeah, I'll hold this in my hand, and when I go downstairs, I'll be like, yeah.
You remember why you
It's
put
about
it there.
this, yeah. And I just like I turned around and went,
Why did I put it there?
what the fuck? I
Yeah.
totally forget. I'm like, it has something to do with
Yeah.
one of their songs. I'm like, we're
Yeah.
almost done. I have to fucking figure it out.
That's funny, man.
But it
yeah.
was Queens.
I do that all the time, man. That's how I try to remember most shit. If I'm in like a situation where it's like I should write this down, but I can't, I'll be like, I'm trying to remember this little thing about it, right? To remind
So,
me.
I already told
Sometimes
everybody.
it
I'm gonna
works,
tell you
sometimes it
anyways.
don't.
That never
So,
works for me.
You ever
I always
hear
forget.
about like tying a string around your finger to remember something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, side note, and I'm the worst at this because I'll probably forget the original thing.
Yeah, I already have.
Something my dad taught me was like you put your keys down.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget where my keys
I
are.
always do that.
He said when you put them down, picture them exploding.
Really?
So then you'll remember where they are. So like when I go to leave the house, I go, okay, yeah.
Crazy.
I left the house the other day with my girl. She had laundry on. She goes, okay, cool. She's going to work. I walk into her work.
Picture
cool.
it exploding.
She goes, hey, she's like, when you come back, like when that's done, can you switch it over? So I'm like picturing it exploding, right? Either way, things to remind you of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I go upstairs. Something you said before I went upstairs sparked a thing in my head. I'm standing there, whatever. I took like a really long piss, by the way. but like probably second longest ever.
Shit.
You were ever in the world.
Like no, in my
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
just in my movie. Yeah.
Say, fuck,
So-
we should have Rolex up there having fucking count.
Yeah.
Right on the fucking time.
So I'm thinking
Hundreds
like
of milliseconds.
I'm thinking about something, right? And then so I'm like, oh yeah, this, okay, yeah. And so then I pull this off the toilet paper. Like, I'll hold this, and I'll remember what it was. And like in the moment of like saying that to myself, like, oh yeah, I'll hold this.
You
so I
already
remember.
forgot?
Yeah, I'm like,
Bro, it happens to me every.
shit.
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time.
Well, when I came downstairs and sat here, at the end of the video, it showed like all the other videos that you could choose from, right?
Yeah.
The bottom right was Ilya Rose Aspect's daughter, right? And shout out to both of them. But then the top left was Queens
Yeah.
from you guys.
Nope.
And
Is that what the question was based on?
Yeah.
that was about. And I don't even know what was really the question exactly. I also believe that maybe I like forget the end result or the end like conclusion or like the end goal. But I believe there was also maybe a side story. And I think I only remember the side story.
I
We'll get at
remember
it.
listening to it earlier, and
So the thing is it's like, what's the hook? Tell me where my penny at. And tell me where my Carsby, yes. Okay, yeah. And then that I guess that's the second part. But either way, but it's like, you know, it's like tell me where this, tell me where this, tell me where my girl's at, you know, whatever. And like before when I listened to it, I pictured it, I guess. And the other thing too is I have to explain that I have an issue with only listening to like certain lyrics.
Yeah.
So then I hear like you would
And then taking them out of context?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So like, especially too when you hear like when you hear someone say something like you hear someone say something, you go as if they're like hating on their own people or something, you know. But then like years later, I'd realize like before that you go like that person said this or whatever, right? And I'm like, oh shit, yeah. So then like point is before it was like I took it as like fuck, I forget what the first one is. What is it?
I don't even remember now either.
Yeah. Tell me where, but tell me where something is. Tell me where my girls be or something.
yeah.
And like so when I heard that, and then you know, tell me where my henny at.
The
Tell me where the
Queen song.
I'm like, I picture it as like a demand or like a like you know,
Right,
like,
right.
tell me where that shit is. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
fucking for us, right? but then like recently, like you know, I've been listening to him more and shit. You know, you coming on and stuff. I'm listening to him and go. Oh, they're saying
Like more of a
where is
a
it?
a
Where the
genuine
fuck is it?
question,
Like,
yeah,
they have this
right.
shit, like where the fuck is it? You know, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm doing all the right shit. How come I don't have all this
But
stuff?
where is it? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. But and now that you say like, oh, I'm
Oh,
doing
that's
all this
funny.
shit, like where is it? I think also too maybe that's where it related. I think that was my side story, but I think that's where it related was like kind of same shit. It's like, man, I'm doing all this shit. Like, yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm like,
Where's
you know,
all my
putting in
stuff?
that work. Like, yeah. Fuck. So
That's part of the journey, man.
you want to do it?
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
You think you
Do
go?
the old one and the new one, or the both of them.
Let's do a little bit of both.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Do a
I
couple
could-
of
I could
each.
do
So
a
we do
couple
a
off
thing
the
called the
top.
lightning round,
Yeah.
and
Oh God.
the thing is usually
No.
usually I make the joke with people, but I feel like you're on my level, and I just have to just explain the joke to you. Is that I'll tell people, I say, yo, it's the lightning round, and like the faster you answer the questions, the more points you get, or whatever, or double the points, or like whatever, right? But it's like, what? And it's like, no, you just
It's a
it's
joke.
stupid questions. Whatever, right? People are like, what? There's points?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Dude, yeah, I'm immediately competitive now.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a Z.
Who has the record?
I was just gonna say we'll declare it at the end of this, man. This guy's China's
Yeah.
got the fucking record now. Yeah, there was no way to score before, but now this is the gold medal.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should come up with a new game with with a high score.
What's the
Also,
score?
here's your payment.
You don't. Pizza,
Powerade Gatorade,
Powerade.
gin or vodka.
Oh fuck, vodka.
Can I bring this back to? Oh, what's happening?
Not something that not expected.
Yeah. Are we good?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can still hear us on here.
Yeah.
Should I turn
Yeah.
my
I mean,
phone
anything?
on? I'm gonna turn my phone on. Okay, wait. What was the question you just said? Oh, the Powerade Gatorade thing. Okay, here, one
Yeah.
sec. Let's do it. I'm
Firmly on the Powerade team.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. All right. I'm just doing this for God's sake.
Okay.
You said you're firmly on the Powerade side, and the other day I was walking through Rexall, and I thought to myself, well, actually, I saw something, and then I thought to myself, did that say sour? And I saw this thing that said, it was sour. There was a red one and a green one, green apple sour, and then the other one was something else sour. Have you tried the sour Powerades?
No.
No.
I don't fuck with it like that.
Are you a sour guy though at all?
I'm a sour guy. Yeah, I fuck with sour, but and any drink that is like, I like even like my Powerade. I like it like the ice or the clear, whatever.
No sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Ooh, but that's not good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it just tastes better to me. I don't like the like saccharine sweet.
I agree with you, man.
Heavy sugar.
This isn't even
You know,
working now.
you're thirsty or hot, and
working?
you drink the
I
like an
think
average
so.
Gatorade
Okay.
Powerade.
I think,
It's so
like, it's-
syrupy.
Yeah, it's
He's
too
just so
sweet.
thirsty.
Yeah, thank you.
It's super salty though too.
Yeah, well,
Powerade,
high in
Gatorade,
sodium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, but the
Part of
thing is,
the
you're talking about like
electrolytes.
diet Gatorade
Yeah,
or Powerade.
yeah.
But the thing is, and you're like, it tastes better. I find like anything diet doesn't. It has this different taste. Like I don't really like it. I will
Right.
drink. I will drink
There's less
sugar-free
sugar.
Red Bull. But because if you drink an energy drink or even a coffee with sugar in it, the sugar crash comes before the
Yeah.
end of your caffeine like rush.
Buzz.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no fucking point in putting sugar
No,
in your
because
coffee
you feel
or sugar
you feel
Red Bull,
lethargic
right?
before you feel
Really?
Any-
So that's the
Anything?
only time I'll drink
Yeah.
it, but I don't like the taste of it. Like even like there's what the fuck is it?
Celsius, bro.
There's I think it's a
Has
slush
no
or
sugar.
something, but there's
Celsius
something.
slaps.
Yeah, I like
Yo,
Celsius.
do you guys?
I like
do you guys
Celsius.
know-
Celsius slaps.
But do you guys?
Oh
know?
no, is Celsius like racist or something? Now I'm fucked.
Bro, they're racist against all human beings.
Oh,
Shit.
sick. They're aliens.
Yeah,
One second,
shit.
let me see.
I don't know,
They're
man.
trying to kill people. One sec.
They're trying to kill people. Jesus.
I feel like we're all right in that.
No, bro, I'm telling you. Have you ever seen the places where they put the poop?
What?
Like
like
Oh,
all
man.
the bullshit.
I don't imagine he can pull it up because we're having a little issue right now.
You want me to look it up? What is that?
But here, where is it?
Celsius poop gardens?
No, so I swear, but I know they have it in Red Bull too, man. I just saw it the other day though. I
Yeah.
looked at it the other day on Red Bull. I said, I have to go home and tell my girlfriend this 100% because I'm about to bring us both Red Bulls, and I see this shit on the internet, and it's a word that starts with C.
And it's like what? It's literally poo.
So, but you know how there's like vitamin B6 or some shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
right.
energy drinks.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Where they
Yeah.
get that fucking shit from, there's a name for it. It starts with a C, and it's like so. Apparently, also too, some random person on the internet told me this.
Oh,
He's not a
so
scientist.
that's
Yeah, it's like
that's the source.
Yeah,
I get
but,
what you're saying,
but
though.
at the
It's
same
like the
time, I've
same-
seen it a lot. But okay, there's this word with a C, and
Yeah.
if we can get it up, it'd be sick.
Carrageenan or something.
Yes, but what but what
Yeah.
it does is it's okay. Like literally, there's like the poop factory or whatever, right? Like it's like where they clean the water and shit, right? Is really what it is. I'm being dumb, but it's where they clean the water and shit.
Oh yeah.
So all the like sewage and shit, whatever goes there. But I guess there's like these like places where the sewage waits to get cleaned or whatever.
And they pick the
And
vitamin
they
B6
take
out
the
of there.
top off the top. They scoop it off the top.
No, they
Right.
don't.
Bro, I'm
Bro, not
telling
a
Yeah,
you.
get out of
chance.
here. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, man.
Okay,
Let me
flat
see. Let me
earther.
see. Oh man.
yeah.
If this podcast starts talking about contrails, we're
Yeah.
or
Look at
chemtrails.
okay. Look at no.
Shit,
okay. It's
yeah.
all right. Actually, you know what? This says it's not true.
Yeah.
It says no vitamin B12 in Celsius energy drinks is not made from sludge found on human sewage treatment plants.
Nice.
Source? Trust me, bro. He looks
my
like a
God.
good guy.
Mhm.
Shit.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
agree.
God.
You know,
But yeah,
I saw
no.
Celsius through watching
I-
Theo Vaughn, man.
But I am gonna
So
tell
how-
you
how
all
I
right
knew
now that I will send you each and every one of you. Not you guys, but I will send you all the thing. It might not. It might not.
I think we've done the same thing about the
Moon
Logan
landing?
Paul's
The moon
drinks,
landing?
right? Prime energy drink.
bro, we're not going down that road.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm sorry, man. So here's the thing:
No
is
politics, no moon landings.
Agreed.
no, it's true, and I don't really. We'll get into that another time, but. The thing is I always do this. We do the lightning round. It's supposed to be super
Yeah.
quick, yeah. And I'm like, wait one sec.
I totally forgot we were doing
Wait
that.
one sec.
That's what it
Wait
is.
one sec.
Come
See,
back
that's what
another
I
time
do.
for it too.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the shit.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
It's not
We'll-
working at all.
Yeah, man. Something
yeah,
crashed
something
somewhere.
happened. So we'll just have.
It's all good.
Let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, we've been chatting for a while. It's
That's
10
dirty. Yeah.
10
Well, he
minutes.
was. I whenever you're in the washroom, I'm like, whoa, what time is it? It's like 2 hours. I'm like,
Yo.
holy fuck.
Yeah,
Maybe
we're
maybe,
about-
usually do like an hour and then shut it
we
down.
will just end with one question or two.
I don't know if it's even recording though.
But so there's a baby,
My phone's not working. Yeah.
right? And if you slap it, nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
But if you don't slap the baby, everybody thinks you slapped the baby. What are you going to do?
Slap the baby.
All right.
I would rather people don't think I slapped a baby.
Yeah. For
If
sure.
I have to choose, I mean,
But yo,
if I'm gonna get blamed for it anyways, I'm definitely gonna. I'm taking something home with me.
Yeah. There you go. A little bit of skin, you know?
what's happening over there? Nothing.
I tried to get us back. I think so. Like these monitors are not on, so I only have my this on here, and I got us streaming again. And from what I see on YouTube, I it says we're still live.
I
Okay.
So I don't. There's probably gonna
We
be a
should
gap
probably
in there
just-
somewhere.
We should probably.
Okay.
But yeah,
But either
definitely
way,
we should probably.
wrap it
Either way,
yeah.
Tragic would slap the baby. But just to put a little perspective in it, we had a couple people on here. The first time we ever asked the question, actually Jonesy asked the question. It's his fault. And the one guy said we were all laughing and joking, saying we'd hit the baby, right? And he's like, "Do you have kids?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "And you're slapping the baby?" He's like, "Does he have kids?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's got two." He's like, you slapping the baby? He's like, yeah. He's like, slapping the baby? We're like, yeah. But then he's like, man, he's like, he put it into perspective saying like, I'd rather know myself that I didn't hit the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, great. I was having fun with it.
no.
He's making you
I'm a
feel
piece
bad
of
right
shit.
now.
No,
I'm a piece of shit.
Yo, but I'm not making you feel bad. I'm saying, man, I said the same shit. I'm fucking hitting that baby. I like even instantly was like, I'm
Yeah, we're all
fucking hitting that
culprits.
baby. This
He's
is
saying we're
and
all
this is before
culprits.
this is before we knew it was a slap. We thought it was like a fucking punch to the mouth.
like a proper punch.
Like yeah.
Okay,
so like
that's worse for sure.
so really, yeah, I was signing up for a punch in the.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, man.
You ever heard of erectile dysfunction?
Yeah.
This is the opposite. It's always up, baby. It's always up. Anyways, man.
Yeah,
All right.
That's the 4G Audio podcast, my
That's
friend.
it, man. Yeah. So I mean, like, it sounds like we don't know if we're actually doing shit. We could be doing shit.
We're just
I
gonna
think,
roll
yeah,
with it.
God bless us if we are. But I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome.
And congratulations, by the way. And also, you're going back to New York shortly. What's happening here?
Going to back to north of Toronto. It's my 40th birthday next weekend.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Holy
July 6th.
shit! Happy birthday,
Yeah.
July
Happy
6th. That's
birthday.
my
Happy
son's
birthday, man.
Baseball tournament
Oh, no way.
that he's gonna win.
It's also
for
50
you.
cents. 50 cents birthday.
No way.
Hell yeah.
And
Shit.
George W. Bush.
That's lucky.
And Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
Shut
there you
up,
go.
really?
There you go.
Oh, you kind of look like him too, actually. Yeah.
There's a chance he's my dad.
Yo, I don't know if you actually watch Formula One, but
No.
you really look like fucking Daniel Ricciardo. Look
Really?
him up. Look him up. I will actually prove this myself. I'm just saying that because you said that. I will Google it just so I don't look
All
like
right.
an idiot.
Okay, well, you boys look that up.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate you coming through. Everybody go check out Philly Moves Blue Fools. It's out on all streaming platforms.
We said everything, even everything that's free.
We checked the box for all.
Yeah, we did. It was like some, most, all, or like everything. It's like
Yeah.
199.
It's like roll up windows,
Yeah. Yep.
power locks. Yeah, we wanted all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see it, but I believe you.
Well, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling a bit.
I show you, but the thing is, every time someone goes, "You
There's
look
a
like
couple-
this person," I feel like the
there's a-
person they
yeah.
think looks like that person has no, like, they're like, no.
There's a
fuck
couple,
that,
yeah, for sure.
He looks
There's a
pretty-
couple moments though. I
He
was
looks
like,
Italian.
he looks like that fucking Formula One driver.
Does
I
he drive a
watched.
Ferrari?
No, he does
you
not.
think
He
that guy?
drives Red Bull.
Do you think that guy ever has sex? Probably not, eh?
No, he's
Definitely not.
he's a virgin for sure. That guy never
Yeah.
gets pussy. What do you do? I'm a Formula One driver. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
cool,
sweet.
yeah.
So you're a prince also.
Yeah.
Plus you.
See
There you
ya.
go. Yeah.
Shit.
Anyway.
Shit, man. But no, I even was saying to my girlfriend, I said, "Yo, this is why I do this shit." I'm like, it's crazy, like I literally back. Like, so me and my girlfriend, we dated like 10 years ago, some shit, whatever. And at that time, I was listening to "Oh So Good" and shit, right? We listen to this, whatever.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool. A bunch of bullshit happens. Long story. Now we're back, doing this shit, right? I see, I'm like, but this is why I do this shit, right? I'm like, this is literally like somebody I actually followed before I even knew you're from around here, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are sick, yeah, cool, yeah, and then fucking meet you guys, whatever, yeah, blah blah blah. We end up, so that was 2016, so 2019 we start the podcast, right? Boom, like, well, with a whole other fucking idea in mind, and then it's like now we're here like 5 years later. I'm like, oh, this is it, man. Like,
It's fucking
Yeah,
dope,
yeah,
man.
like,
It's
yeah.
awesome. This was
So
a lot of fun, man. Honestly,
Hey,
Fucking
man.
right.
I was nervous coming in. I was
Yeah.
very open about that. This was really dope.
Yeah, man.
Time flew by. That's always a good
Yeah,
sign.
Oh, and I'm
usually
glad you
does.
put the nervous thing out because I was like, I was gonna bring it up. I'm like, I won't put him on the spot, but I'm like, you said you're nervous and shit. I'm like, that's what I was saying. I'm like, oh, we're just chilling, we're just hanging
Yeah.
out, like, because a lot of people do that though. They come in, like, oh, I'm nervous. And
Well,
then
I
when they
just
leave,
didn't
they
know
go,
what to
man, that's
expect.
so fun.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
But anyways, man, no, we appreciate you coming through. I would like you to maybe leave them with some words, or at least just where to find you guys, etc.
Yeah.
Sure,
What's to come?
Find Philly Moves online. You can download the album for free. You can listen to it free, whatever. I don't think we're gonna do any shows, but
That was a question I had that I just realized we didn't.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do a show. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. We're still making music. I'm making songs at home alone. I
Yeah.
just like making music. I'll always make music, and
Like Macaulay Culkin.
maybe I'll put exactly.
Home Alone. Sorry, anyways, yeah.
Well, we've been wanting to put on an event for some time now, and we're working on a couple things. But yeah, who knows, man? Maybe we'll be in touch in the future.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should jump on our cipher too.
Yeah, we got a cipher.
yeah,
we got a
I'll
cipher
do
that
that.
we're working
Yeah, I'll
on.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we just need Rob
All right.
vocals and he'll
Really?
do it all.
Yeah,
up,
well, we could send you the instrumental and
Yeah,
whatnot,
for
but
sure.
we can talk
Fuck
about
yeah,
that
I'd
after
love to
this.
do
For
that.
Yeah,
sure.
okay, sick. Anyways,
all right,
yeah,
sick
man.
again.
Okay,
Thanks for
okay.
coming through, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
you.
Yeah, much love.
All right, and as for you, mother truckers, yeah, man, just be safe. Happy weekend. Happy Canada Day weekend.
That's
I mean.
right.
And
Long weekend.
hopefully you guys get to see some fireworks. Go check out Lloyd Banks, KG's. There's
Monday
other people.
night.
Savage James, I think, is going to be there. There's a bunch of people that I know are going to be there, and I forget who's going to be there.
Yeah.
So if you go, you'll find out. I'll be there for sure. I will be wearing clothes.
Yeah.
And
And
see,
where's
he
where,
gets it.
where,
He knows the joke.
where's that Monday night?
Oh
where?
yeah, Monday night. It probably starts at like 7 or 7:30, but it is at Bronson Center, which is on Bronson Street.
Yeah.
I don't know the address, but you can find it. And I
should
love
know.
you all. You probably should know. Shout out to everybody for doing everything. And
here, bro.
You know what, man? I just feel like maybe they shouldn't have given me all that booze at the liquor store. Shit. Any motherfucking way, I'm Styles the Prophet.
I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
Together with the Basement Weirdos, this is the 4G Audio Podcast, your grandma's favorite podcast, live from the basement, where all the great rappers pay rent.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
man. Episode 251.
It's been a fucking movie.
The fuck out of here. Appreciate you. See you next time. Gang, gang.
You heard the man.
613 for life, baby.
Much love.